Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Many children, many blessing, start as Invincible by Detoxifying My Sister-in-Law. Chapter 1. Do you want to wear something to protect yourself? No need, sis. Don't worry, nothing will go wrong. But, Lin Yi, if you don't protect yourself, your hand might get scratched if you exert too much force. Ouch, sis, it hurts. You see, Lin Yi, I told you that you would get hurt. And Miao Yi glared at Lin Yi and motioned for him to put his injured thumb from dragging the wardrobe in front of her, carefully examining the wound. Look, it's bleeding. Let me check if there are any splinters in the wound before bandaging it for you. With her watery eyes, and Miao Yi blinked without pause. Found it. Quickly, and Miao Yi's beautiful eyes revealed excitement as she pulled out a large splinter from Lin Yi's finger. Turning around, and Miao Yi hurriedly went to find herbal ointment. Watching and Miao Yi search for herbs for him, Lin Yi's eyes were filled with admiration. Wearing a plain sky blue linen robe, and Miao Yi exuded a sense of beauty and simplicity. Soon, Lin Yi shook his head and smiled bitterly. He should have focused on the wound instead of paying attention to Miao Yi fetching the medicine. In the end, Lin Yi shifted his attention, blaming it on the small booklet tied around his waist. Just yesterday, he was drawing water from a well in the backyard of a mansion when the hook on the rope broke, causing the bucket to fall into the well inexplicably. In a moment of carelessness, Lin Yi was pulled into the well by the rope. Frantically grabbing onto anything inside the well, he accidentally scratched a spot on the well wall and found an oil paper package. Escaping from the well and returning to his room, Lin Yi opened the package to find a book covered in mud. Upon opening it, Lin Yi's eyes reflected an expression of disbelief. This book had some incorrect illustrations. Now it was already the second day, and while helping and Miao Yi move the wardrobe, the illustrations occasionally flashed through Lin Yi's mind. As Lin Yi was lost in thought, and Miao Yi turned around, filled with excitement. I found it. This is the medicinal ointment used by pharmacist Wang for healing. It contains many special herbs. The splinter went deep, so I'll apply it for you. I guarantee that your hand will be fine after applying it. And Miao Yi dipped her fair and slender fingers into the ointment and applied it to Lin Yi's hand. Lin Yi felt a cool sensation on his fingers. Before long, the bleeding from his finger was truly stopped. Lin Yi couldn't help but look at the purple ointment. Indeed, it was a product of pharmacist Wang. The efficacy of this ointment was incredibly strong, and it smelled pleasant, with a lingering fragrance that cleared Lin Yi's mind. In Lin Yi's eyes, this was a world of fantasy and cultivation, where such a quickly effective hemostatic and healing herbal ointment was normal. Lin Yi was not a native of this world. 3 months ago, Lin Yi from Blue Star went to the Red Romantic Bathhouse with some business partners to celebrate their company's listing. Lin Yi chose a lowly-type technician. Little did he know that the technician was inexperienced. While giving Lin Yi a back massage, her foot slipped, and she accidentally sat on Lin Yi's head. When he opened his eyes again, Lin Yi found himself sold to a mansion by his family and became a servant there, even signing a contract of servitude. At that time, some newly contracted servants who were dissatisfied and wanted to escape from a mansion were tied up and starved for a few days by the people of a mansion. This scene made Lin Yi only able to wait for an opportunity to secretly leave this place. However, 3 months had passed, and Lin Yi still couldn't leave. But so far, Lin Yi had not seen the legendary immortals. The strongest person he had seen was the head of the Yin family, Mr. An Yingshang. He was a renowned innate grandmaster, and everyone in the martial world gave him face. He was truly the guardian deity of the Yin family. Lin Yi witnessed Mr. An's palm instantly shattering a green stone block as thick as a person's arm. At that time, Lin Yi's heart was pounding with fear. Lin Yi, a pure and innocent little flower of the motherland, had never seen such a terrifying scene and dared not escape easily. In the past 3 months, as Lin Yi was in charge of guarding the medicinal field in an mansion, he became acquainted with another beautiful lady, An Miao Yi. According to An Miao Yi, although she shared the same surname, she was not a member of the An family. She was just a maid with the surname An. Her husband had already passed away. She was older than Lin Yi, so he could just call her sister instead of sister-in-law. But Lin Yi kept making slip-ups. Today, An Miao Yi bought some new furniture. The wardrobe was in the way, so she asked Lin Yi to come and help push it. That's how this injury happened. Looking at Lin Yi staring at her foolishly, a blush appeared on An Miaoyi's fair neck. She sighed and was about to speak. Knock, knock, knock. Suddenly, the door was knocked. Sis, I'll go back first, cough, cough. I'll come back later. Whoever it was, Lin Yi snapped out of it and decided to leave. And Miaoyi shook her head with a charming expression and pretended to be displeased, saying, "Why be polite with me? No need, wait here, I'll make you some food later, eat something before you go." After speaking, An Miaoyi turned around and walked towards the door with graceful steps. Bang! Before An Miaoyi could open the door, it was kicked open. The wooden door was shattered by the kick. Some wooden fragments flew past Lin Yi, almost injuring both An Miaoyi and Lin Yi. "An Miaoyi, I never expected you to hide here. Tisk tisk. You, the true young lady of the An family, pretending to be a servant, afraid of being exposed. Unfortunately, your efforts were in vain, and I, Wang Deyang, have finally caught you." While Lin Yi was dumbfounded, an old man burst into laughter, his voice filled with excitement. In a flash, the old man walked into the narrow room. He was wearing a purple robe, with a sturdy figure. Perhaps due to his excitement, his face was flushed. In his hand, he held a small wooden box with a mechanism. At this moment, he aimed the mechanism at Lin Yi and An Miaoyi. Wang Deyang. Upon hearing this name, Lin Yi couldn't help but be stunned. Then, Lin Yi subconsciously looked at his finger that An Miaoyi had just bandaged. The highly effective herbal ointment was created by Wang Deyang. This Wang Deyang, wasn't he the pharmacist Wang mentioned by the two before? While Lin Yi was still puzzled, he suddenly realized that his hand was being held by An Miaoyi. An Miaoyi's soft and boneless hand was slightly cold. An Miaoyi turned her head, revealing a helpless smile on her face, even exerting a little force with her small hand. Lin Yi couldn't help but let out a sound of pain because her hand touched his wound. With a thud, at this moment, the little book of Descendants records that Lin Yi had been carrying in his arms fell from his waist as An Miaoyi pulled it. Coincidentally, drops of blood from his finger wound fell on it. The book of Descendants records turned into a golden light spot and transformed back into the form of a book in Lin Yi's mind, constantly growing larger. Suddenly, there was a ding sound. Lin Yi stared at it in his mind and saw lines of text appearing on it. The Descendants records are a law treasure prepared for the lucky host to build an eternal family happily and joyfully. As long as the host and the Descendants records recognize each other, and the comprehensive evaluation score of appearance and potential exceeds 80 points out of 100, forming a marriage or having offspring, random rewards will be given based on the conditions of the spouse and the potential of the offspring. Please work hard, host. The more marriages and concubines, the more children, the more rewards. An Miaoyi is a potential spouse or concubine with a comprehensive evaluation score of 90 points. Considering that the host has fused with the law treasure for the first time, you will receive the unique greeting gift of the law treasure, the Emperor level high-grade technique, Withered Tree Reviving Spring, and a random reward of 1 year of cultivation. Everything is for the host to marry and have concubines, and have children. The Descendants records will first give the host a good body. Note: there will be no more greeting gifts in the future. To obtain rewards, you need to fill in the Descendants records, marry and have children. Boom! An image of An Miaoyi was engraved on the page of the book. Behind it were a few words. An Miaoyi, a potential spouse or concubine with a comprehensive evaluation score of 90 points. In an instant, Lin Yi felt a golden light burst out from the book of Descendants records in his mind. Soon, this golden light wandered around in Lin Yi's mind and began to circulate throughout his body. Lin Yi felt as if a technique was being engraved in his mind, and his entire body was filled with the flow of power. It was an extraordinary technique, the Withered Tree Reviving Spring. In many parts of Lin Yi's body, an indescribable sense of comfort began to appear. Crack, crack, the sound of bones cracking constantly echoed from Lin Yi's body. Lin Yi felt that his body was incredibly strong, as if he could knock out a cow with a single punch. At the same time, Lin Yi sniffed and discovered a foul smell on his body. Unexplainably, Lin Yi thought of a term, washing the marrow and cutting the bones. A new martial art technique appeared in his mind, and Lin Yi felt extremely excited. Goldfinger has arrived. The technique of Withered Tree Reviving Spring that little booklet is a Goldfinger similar to an old master. And the randomly rewarded 1 year of cultivation is equivalent to Lin Yi practicing the withered tree reviving spring technique for a whole year. Now, Lin Yi estimated that he had reached the level of a powerful figure in the martial arts world. In the martial arts world, there are 3 levels in the postnatal realm. Third-rate experts have the strength of a cow, second-rate experts have the strength of 2 tigers, and first-rate experts have the strength of 3 cows and 2 tigers. Innate experts, grandmasters, can generate qi. Therefore, after the dantian is formed, one becomes an innate grandmaster. An innate grandmaster's power erupts from the dantian, endlessly, capable of splitting stones and cracking tablets. The power of 10 cows and 10 tigers. Lin Yi felt that he had reached the level of a third-rate expert in the postnatal realm. Even vaguely, Lin Yi felt that if there really was a tiger here, he could imitate the protagonist Wu Song and explode the tiger's head with a punch. However, amidst the excitement, Lin Yi also felt speechless. His Goldfinger seemed to be just like those small patterns in the booklet, a bit improper. But upon careful consideration, Lin Yi became even more excited. What is most important for a person is to leave descendants. So this record of descendants is simply tailor-made for someone like him. More children, more blessings. The key, when he marries and takes concubines, he can actually receive rewards. Prosperity. Having a lot of wives and concubines, having many children, what kind of rewards will he receive? How strong will his own power become? This is so much better than tirelessly and crazily cultivating every day. It's about becoming stronger while enjoying. However, at the same time, Lin Yi felt even more speechless. What does it mean to be a female life? Doesn't this mean that if he combines with a life form other than humans, he can also receive the same rewards? But, does reproductive isolation no longer exist? But thinking about it, even immortal law exists in this world. It's possible that those monsters and demons are also within the scope of the law treasure of expanding their family, which is why there is a prompt for female life. Wang Deyong leisurely held the small black wooden box and looked at An Miaoyi, saying maliciously, "He, my small wooden box is the long-standing rainstorm pear needle in the martial arts world. With just a light press, the 2 of you will become sieves. And Miaoyi, you cause the son of the sect master in Scorching Sun sect to become a eunuch. The sect master had already predicted that you would return to Great Harmony Town and settle in the An family. Sure enough, the sect master is truly omniscient. HMPH, if it weren't for the sect master's fear of An Laoyi, he would have searched An mansion and taken you away. Now, let's not say anything else. Take this medicine, and come with me. Otherwise, I'll press this stormy rain needle and cripple you before doing anything else." Wang Deyong had a smug expression on his face. He took out a small porcelain bottle from the wide silk cuff of his robe and threw it towards An Miaoyi. An Miaoyi turned her head back, her eyes filled with apology. Then, she spoke in a voice that only the 2 of them could hear. "I'm sorry, Lin Yi, for involving you in this. But don't worry, sister won't let anything happen to you." Saying this, An Miaoyi looked at Wang Deyong with hatred. "I never expected that the renowned pharmacist Wang would become a lackey of the Scorching Sun sect. As you said, this is An mansion, even the sect master of Scorching Sun sect has to fear second grandfather to some extent. I will obediently go with you, but you must not harm Lin Yi. Otherwise, I will shout loudly, even if it means exposing myself, and let everyone in the An family and all of Great Harmony Town know that I, An Miaoyi, will have An Laoyi kill you." Wang Deyong paused for a moment, his eyes scanning Lin Yi up and down. "So protective of him. This young man has grown quite handsome, it seems you have a relationship with him, tisk tisk tisk. It doesn't matter, I can spare him as long as you obediently take the pill. That pill should be a poison." And Miaoyi clenched her teeth and finally closed her eyes. Thump, thump, thump. Lin Yi could clearly hear a breath gathering on An Miaoyi's body. Wang Deyong didn't sense any of this, but he had already pressed the stormy rain needle with his hand. "Quickly eat it, don't play tricks, otherwise I'll cripple both of you. The sect master didn't specify whether you should live or die, whether you're intact or disabled, it doesn't matter, eat it quickly." And Miaoyi sighed, turned her head and looked at Lin Yi again, and her breath suddenly stopped. Finally, she lowered her body and picked up the bottle. And Miaoyi opened the bottle and poured out the pill, preparing to swallow it. The pill emitted a refreshing fragrance, not the black color that a poison should have, but white. Lin Yi saw a hint of heat and madness flash in Wang Deyong's eyes. Isn't that the look of a pervert? Sister, don't eat it. Just as Lin Yi finished shouting, and Miaoyi had already smiled bitterly at him and swallowed the pill. For you, sister has to eat it too. Wang Deyong laughed heartily. Good. Even my yin-yang powder that I refined, you dare to eat. Then there's nothing to fear. Hee, my yin-yang powder refined by Wang Deyong, after eating it, will make you burn with desire. First, your face will become hot, then the power in your body will completely disappear, and at that time, I will be the butcher and you will be the fish. You don't have to fear me anymore. After Wang Deyong finished speaking, he put the rainstorm pear blossom needle in his hand back into his sleeve. This is confidence in his own medicine to the extreme. Lin Yi listened to Wang Deyong's words and suddenly became anxious. This old guy is indeed a pervert, this medicine is actually an aphrodisiac. Lin Yi finally understood that this old guy should have also noticed the fluctuations in Miaoyi's aura just now. And Miaoyi's sister should also be a master of martial Dao. So, just now I was able to feel the aura erupting from her. It's just a pity that Miaoyi's sister has taken this medicine now, and the martial Dao master will also become weak like a little cat. And Miaoyi also frowned, biting her silver teeth tightly, her eyes showing fear. What did you say? This is yin-yang. Yin-yang powder. Wang Deyong laughed heartily. How can I let go of such a beauty like you? Not only can I not let you go, I also want to kill this little fool. Tisk, let your adulterer watch as I spend a night with you. I will naturally break through to the first layer of the acquired realm from the second layer. Beauty, here I come. And Miaoyi coughed a few times, her face turning red. It is obvious that the medicine has taken effect. Lin Yi felt that the aura on Miaoyi's body, like a balloon being blown to its limit, suddenly deflated, no different from an ordinary person. Her body felt a bit weak. However, Miaoyi was still forcing herself to hold on. Wang Deyong, you are not keeping your word. You said you would take me away and spare Lin Yi. Let him go. How could I let him go? Wang Deyong shook his head, a wicked smile on his face. Lin Yi was dumbfounded. What the hell is going on? Wang Deyong is at the second layer of the acquired realm, about to break through to the first layer, and I am just a third-rate expert at the third layer of the acquired realm in the withered tree reviving spring dual cultivation technique. How can I fight him? Just then, with a whimper, Miaoyi's weak and boneless, curvaceous body fell softly beside Lin Yi. Lin Yi instinctively held onto Miaoyi to prevent her from falling to the ground. He stared at Wang Deyong, suddenly realizing he still had a chance to get a reward. As long as Miaoyi agrees to become his wife, he still has a reward. He must make use of it. It's already what time? Bring me the reward for future generations. Wang Deyong, right, you, a small second-rate trash at the second layer of the acquired realm, dare to be arrogant in front of me. Don't you know that I am also a strong one? Puff. Wang Deyong, who was originally going to come over, heard this sentence and his eyes revealed disdain, laughing out loud. A mere guardian of a small medicinal field, a servant of the Yin family, a master. You might as well say you're an immortal cultivator. Forget about immortal cultivators. Even if you were a master of the martial Dao, even if you could cultivate and become a martial artist, I would consider you the winner, haha. Just then, a wave of energy surged from Lin Yi's body. Wang Deyong, who was laughing, suddenly froze with a stiff smile on his face. That wave of energy indicated that Lin Yi was indeed someone who could cultivate. Taking advantage of Wang Deyong's momentary daze, Lin Yi locked eyes with Miaoyi. To be honest, Lin Yi was also a bit confused by what he heard. According to Wang Deyong's words, there really were immortal cultivators in this world. The strength of immortal cultivators far surpassed that of martial Dao experts. The so-called martial world was simply a joke. However, if Lin Yi had heard this before obtaining the Goldfinger of the Descendants record, he would have felt even more despair. But now that he had obtained the Descendants record, Lin Yi felt that, marrying, taking concubines, and having children, what did he care about the world of immortal cultivators? He was fearless. And Miaoyi's eyes were a bit confused. but more than that, they were filled with shock. Lin Yi, you can actually cultivate, you're also a martial artist. Looking at An Miaoyi's bewildered expression, her eye-catching cherry lips, Lin Yi didn't have time to explain, sis, let's not talk about anything else, can you agree to marry me? And Miaoyi was dumbfounded, she couldn't understand why Lin Yi would make such a request at this time. Things were already urgent, and Lin Yi was still thinking about this. But seeing Lin Yi's urgent expression, something stirred in An Miaoyi's heart. She could only think of it as Lin Yi's wish to fulfill before dying. Looking at Lin Yi, An Miaoyi subconsciously nodded. Both of them were on the verge of death, and Lin Yi made such a request, so she agreed, so that Lin Yi wouldn't have any regrets before dying. After all, it was because of her that Lin Yi was being persecuted. Wang Deyong was coming after her. Otherwise, Lin Yi wouldn't have been implicated. All right, if sis can survive, I'll marry you. Boom. Lin Yi felt the book of the descendants record in his mind start to rotate continuously. The page with An Miaoyi's portrait, the information on the back changed from potential wife and concubine candidate An Miaoyi, comprehensive score of 90 points, to wife and concubine candidate An Miaoyi, comprehensive score of 90 points. Here it comes, here it comes. The reward is here. Descendants record. Marrying wives and taking concubines earns 90 points. An Miaoyi, random reward. 10 years of cultivation, 10 years of alchemy experience, and 10 years of lifespan for the host. Lin Yi felt a burst of light in his mind as the descendants record suddenly emitted a bright light. 10 years of cultivation directly penetrated Lin Yi's head. That light, following the root of the withered tree reviving spring technique, penetrated his body. Crack. Lin Yi's body made a loud noise, like soybeans being stir-fried. Lin Yi felt that as his cultivation increased, his strength was also increasing. At the same time, Lin Yi's mind inexplicably gained a lot of knowledge about alchemy. He could even deduce the production process and the type of herbs used in the medicinal paste made by Wang Deyong based on the fragrance he had smelled before. He understood everything, from the production to the efficacy. 10 years of experience, achieved. When Wang Deyong was stunned, Lin Yi gently placed An Miaoyi aside and then swiftly rushed towards Wang Deyong. Old fool, take this palm. A surge of energy flowed through Lin Yi's body as his cultivation energy circulated. Lin Yi clapped his hands in the air. 2 palm energies flew out, causing the air to explode. Wang Deyong was dumbfounded and exclaimed in disbelief, this is impossible. He wanted to use the rainstorm pear blossom needle in his hand, but it was too late. After Lin Yi's palm energies flew out, they had already reached him. The 2 energies struck Wang Deyong's arms. Just as Wang Deyong raised his arms, there was a loud bang, and his arms exploded. Ah, ah, ah. Wang Deyong let out a series of screams. His arms were completely shattered. Lin Yi was also a little stunned. Was his strength really this strong? These 2 palm energies, formed by the withered tree reviving spring technique, not only flew out without physical contact but also had such power. It seemed that only an innate grandmaster could form an attack with detached energy under the circulation of cultivation energy. And he could actually do it too. Could it be that he was already an innate grandmaster? Or had he succeeded in cultivating immortality and become an immortal? Looking closer, Wang Deyong's arms were already shattered, and blood was everywhere. Amidst Wang Deyong's screams, his facial features twisted in pain. Seize the opportunity to kill. Lin Yi continued to move forward and kicked Wang Deyong in the chest. Spurt, spurt, spurt. Wang Deyong spat out several mouthfuls of blood and fell to the ground. Unconscious, my 2 palms, just 2 energies, were able to shatter Wang Deyong's arms like breaking rotten wood. It seems that the withered tree reviving spring technique is simply an immortal law compared to the ordinary martial Dao techniques practiced in the martial world. Especially when Wang Deyong mentioned cultivators. Could it be that I have already become a cultivator? Anyway, now that I have become a strong person, I can soar to new heights and return to my homeland like a bird to its nest. What else is there to worry about? If I continue to live a carefree life, marry more wives and concubines, and have more children, as long as I can survive, I will avoid strong opponents and be arrogant towards weak ones. Then, with a long life, many wives, concubines, and children, I will become invincible and immortal. Having married An Miaoyi, who scored 90 points in the comprehensive evaluation, my growth has increased by 10 years each. Even my lifespan has increased by 10 years. My future is so bright. The mysterious immortal cultivation world, here I come, Lin Yi. During his first battle, Lin Yi did not feel fear or terror in his heart. Instead, he felt excited and thrilled. Turning around, Lin Yi saw that Miao Yi had already collapsed on the ground, her face flushed, her eyes unfocused, and her lips slightly parted. She seemed to be making unconscious sounds. Lin Yi faced a rather troublesome choice. He had to detoxify Miao Yi. If I don't go to hell, who will? Even though he had obtained the withered tree reviving spring technique, this was the world of cultivators, and the more rewards he received from the descendants' record, the better. It was clear that the descendants' record was a bit stingy, probably wanting him to marry more wives and concubines and have more children, so each reward was not too generous. Now that he had legally married Miao Yi, they should have a child and form a family. In addition, he wanted to see what rewards he would receive in the future with descendants. Without hesitation, Lin Yi turned around and rushed towards Miao Yi. Miao Yi's whole body was weak, emitting a wave of heat. Lin Yi's determination is transcendent. He is a righteous and talented person, unmoved by anything. He is preparing to wake up Sister Miao Yi first. Sister Miao Yi is unconscious, but he is with her, as if taking advantage of her vulnerability. Lin Yi picks up Miao Yi and goes to the water tank outside the house, pouring the water from the tank directly onto Miao Yi's body. In an instant, Miao Yi, who seemed to have lost consciousness and had a red face, suddenly trembles all over. Her clothes are tightly wrapped around her. Lin Yi silently recites, "Form is emptiness," and pours a few more scoops of water to wash away the black mud that was just washed away, making it clean. Until a certain moment, Miao Yi opens her eyes. The process of her actions, as recorded in the later generations' records, is omitted here, spanning thousands and thousands of words. Just know that the next day, when it's bright, Lin Yi's back and waist are sore. Even with the withered tree reviving spring technique, even though Lin Yi has extended his lifespan by 10 years and his body has become younger and more energetic. However, frequent exhaustion is taking a toll on Lin Yi. Touching his old waist, Lin Yi looks at Miao Yi's frowning and wrinkled face while she sleeps, feeling a bit distressed. He realizes that he hasn't cherished her enough. However, Lin Yi wonders why he hasn't heard any movement from the later generations' records. In his mind, it's as if the later generations' records have disappeared. Could it be that none of the 7 attempts were successful? But then he thinks again and speculates that the later generations' records probably reward him after the child is born. Looking at it this way, he still has a long way to go. During the lull in the battle, in order to prevent Wang Deyong from waking up and escaping, Lin Yi later dealt a heavy blow to Wang Deyong. He twisted his head around in one go. This is the first time Lin Yi has truly killed someone, but he feels no disturbance at all. Instead, he feels incredibly relieved. Even Lin Yi feels that he is naturally suited for cultivating immortality, enjoying the satisfaction of revenge. From Wang Deyong's previous words, Lin Yi has already understood that Wang Deyong just happened to find Miao Yi. It doesn't mean that the people behind him in the Scorching Sun sect know Miao Yi's whereabouts, so Lin Yi decides to destroy the evidence. This matter must not be leaked. Now that he has the Goldfinger of the later generations' records, as long as he perseveres, he will become invincible. Therefore, nothing unexpected can happen. However, Lin Yi is somewhat troubled because it seems that Miao Yi is involved in a major event. But he cannot neglect his wife, Miao Yi, just because he is persevering. This made Lin Yi feel somewhat helpless. Sure enough, being born as the protagonist meant that trouble was bound to follow. At the same time, Lin Yi became even more aware of the importance of having strong power. And now, Lin Yi wanted to become powerful. Cultivation was one aspect, but the most important thing was the major crisis brought about by Miao Yi. Although he wanted to marry multiple wives, he believed in being passionate but not promiscuous, and being faithful but not exclusive. He couldn't just ignore Miao Yi after everything that had happened between them, right? He definitely had to resolve the current situation. Lin Yi also wanted to ask Miao Yi if she knew anything about cultivators. As he pondered over these thoughts, what Lin Yi thought about the most was the rewards from the descendant record, which were truly diverse. Cultivation strength. alchemy experience, and the incredibly exciting extended lifespan were all resolved. Especially with the additional 10 years of lifespan, Lin Yi felt that his body had become much lighter. If he were given several more decades, even if he couldn't cultivate, he might be able to live a long life. But not cultivating was impossible. How would he protect his life when facing strong opponents in the future? How would he pretend to be weak? Not long after, and Miaoyi let out a few breaths and snapped back to reality. Looking at Lin Yi lost in thought, and Miaoyi's face turned red. Although she had been drugged, she remembered everything that happened yesterday. She knew exactly what had happened. Looking at Lin Yi, and Miaoyi originally wanted to get angry, but in the end, she let out a helpless sigh. Looking at Lin Yi again, she inexplicably felt that he was more pleasing to the eye. But when she thought about the enemies still out there, Wang Deyang's arrival, and the potential dangers that followed, and Miaoyi clenched her silver teeth and knew that she had to separate from Lin Yi. Fortunately, I haven't consummated the marriage with that fool yet. Otherwise, Lin Yi might have despised me. Thinking this, and Miaoyi said to Lin Yi, about yesterday, let's just forget about it, let bygones be bygones, okay. Lin Yi turned around, shook his head, and looked at Miaoyi with a serious expression. Sister, how can we forget about something like this? I can't forget, and besides, you promised to become my wife. You wouldn't go back on your word, right? Hearing Lin Yi's words, a bitter helplessness appeared on Miaoyi's face. Ah, Lin Yi, even if you're a martial artist with incredibly strong power, you can't imagine the terror of the enemies who are much stronger than Wang Deyang, considering your age here. Scorching Sun Sect Master, Nangong Tian, is a martial Dao sect master. It is rumored that he is about to achieve the Dao through martial arts. If that happens, Nangong Tian will become a cultivator, and by then, he could kill you with a single palm. That's why it's impossible for the two of us. Sister doesn't want to involve you. Lin Yi had been thinking for a long time just now, but he couldn't think of anything to be afraid of. With his ability to be invincible just by surviving, what was there to fear from Nangong Tian? Lin Yi had a nonchalant expression on his face. Sis, I have my own way to solve all this. And Miaoyi chuckled a bit. She had already said so much, yet Lin Yi remained fearless. It seems that Lin Yi still doesn't understand this world. And Miaoyi explained to Lin Yi. You should know the realm of martial Dao cultivation, but you have never seen the terror of immortals. True cultivators can move mountains and seas with a single palm, shatter the earth with a kick, and create a hurricane with a single breath. And there are even more powerful cultivators at the transcendent level who can use the imperial sky riding art. We are not able to contend with such cultivators. And Miaoyi reached out and pressed her hand on Lin Yi's shoulder, her face slightly flushed. Don't worry, even if you and I know you are just eager to save me, I won't blame you. You don't have to burden yourself with guilt, and most importantly. At this point, and Miaoyi sighed, I have to leave, otherwise, it will be dangerous for the Yin family. If Wang Deyang can find me, who knows if Nangong Tian has other ways. Lin Yi knew that Miaoyi definitely didn't trust him. He couldn't reveal the matter of recording descendants. But he would never let Miaoyi leave. The important position in the family hasn't been filled yet. After thinking for a moment, Lin Yi spoke, Sis, I already know now. You are the true young miss of the Yin family, no wonder you have that medicinal herb ointment. Wang Deyang must have found you because of that ointment. Sis, since it's like this, I will also be honest with you. What do you mean by being honest? And Miaoyi was a bit confused. What does that mean? A solemn expression appeared on Lin Yi's face, and he coughed a few times. In any case, he couldn't separate from Miaoyi. Not to mention that Miaoyi was his first companion in this different world, the temptation of the reward for marrying and having children was there. Lin Yi couldn't let Miaoyi go alone. Who knows how difficult it would be to find a partner with a comprehensive score of over 80. Moreover, Lin Yi really had feelings for Miaoyi. For the past 3 months, Miaoyi had been taking care of him. Sister Miaoyi, to tell you the truth, although I was sold by the Lin family, have you ever thought about why I could become a martial Dao cultivator? And Miaoyi became even more confused and instinctively asked along with Lin Yi's words, why? Lin Yi smirked and took Miaoyi's hand off his shoulder, holding it in his own hand. Well, sis, when I was young, I met immortals. They told me that not only do I have the potential for martial arts, but I also have the aptitude for cultivating immortality. Just as he said this, and Miaoyi let out an ah sound, as if her cherry-like mouth could swallow an egg. What, you have a spirit root for cultivating immortality. So, spirit root is indeed important for cultivation. What kind of spirit root do you have? Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. He understood now. It seemed that cultivation of immortality was just like the novels he had read, emphasizing the importance of spirit root. Originally, Lin Yi wanted to say that he had the potential for cultivation and had decent strength. But at this moment, seeing in Miaoyi's excitement, Lin Yi felt that it was better to be the elusive cultivator that could put in Miaoyi's mind at ease. After all, he was able to cultivate the immortal law withered tree reviving spring dual cultivation technique. It should mean that he had a spirit root, right? Otherwise, logically speaking, he wouldn't be able to cultivate this technique. Since he really had a spirit root, it would be better to go along with her train of thought. Yes, he said I have a spirit root, but he didn't tell me what kind of spirit root it is. And Miaoyi stood up abruptly, her face filled with excitement. You really have a spirit root. That's great, that's great. With a spirit root, you can become a cultivator. So what if it's the Scorching Sun sect? Our family can also have a cultivator. Lin Yi's eyes lit up as he nodded repeatedly. Yes, you're right, sister. I'm going to find grandfather now. As long as you're really a cultivator, that thing it can be used by you, Lin Yi. From now on, you will be the greatest support for our family. With its help, we don't have to worry about anything. As Miaoyi spoke, tears of joy welled up in her eyes. She quickly got up from the bed, not caring that her clothes were a bit wrinkled. Before she could take a few steps, Miaoyi stumbled and almost fell. Fortunately, Lin Yi reached out and caught her, preventing her from falling to the ground. Miaoyi gave Lin Yi a disdainful look. Even though it was just a disdainful look, there was a hint of coquettishness in Miaoyi's gaze, causing Lin Yi's mind to wander. No need to rush, sister. Tell me about these cultivators slowly while we rest. Miaoyi was taken aback. Time passed, neither fast nor slow. While cultivating, Lin Yi listened attentively to Miaoyi's intermittent explanations and gradually understood what was going on. Indeed, this world was a world of cultivators. The so-called martial artists in the martial world were nothing in front of cultivators. And cultivation was almost the same as the novels Lin Yi had read. Qi refining stage, foundation building stage, gold core stage, nascent soul stage, body integration stage, soul formation stage, transcending tribulation stage, Mahayana stage. Each level was further divided into 9 stages. There were even rumors that true immortals would occasionally descend to this extreme heaven continent after reaching the transcending tribulation stage. To cultivate immortality, one must have potential. And this potential is called spirit root. The 5 elements mixed spirit root is the lowest level of spirit root. Spirit root is classified according to the attributes of gold, wood, water, fire, and earth, each with its own strengths. Even if one cultivates the 5 elements mixed spirit root to death, it is feared that they can only reach the 7th level of the Qi refining stage. In their entire life, with a lifespan of over 100 years, it is fundamentally impossible to cultivate to the foundation building stage. Unless there are unexpected circumstances. Next are the 4 spirit root, 3 spirit root, dual spirit root, and the most talented single spirit root. There are also even more talented supreme grade spirit root, earth spirit root, heavenly spirit root, and mutated spirit root. The more singular the spirit root, the stronger the potential, and the higher the level that can be cultivated. The stronger the cultivation, the longer the lifespan. With a longer lifespan, more time for cultivation, it is also possible to become stronger, complementing each other. The more Miaoyi explained, the more Lin Yi felt that the descendant's record he obtained was simply heaven-defying. According to Miaoyi's explanation, even some people with the 5 elements mixed spirit root, even if they are 140 or 50 years old and about to die, may not necessarily be able to cultivate to the Qi refining stage. But Lin Yi is different. With the descendant's record, he can casually marry and have children, enjoying an ever-increasing lifespan and cultivation while lying down. Lin Yi became more and more excited, nodding continuously. After Miaoyi finished dressing up and putting on her clothes, she gave Lin Yi a fierce glare, then anxiously pulled him towards the most prosperous area in an mansion. Before leaving, Lin Yi looked at the medicine field. Sister, cultivation is really tiring. I need some medicine now. Since you are the young miss of an mansion, it's fine if I casually take some medicine, right? And Miaoyi understood the meaning behind Lin Yi's words. Her face turned slightly red as she nodded. Of course, you can casually pick the medicine from these medicine fields. But the urgent matter now is for you to come with me quickly. We'll go, but sister, we need to make things clear. And Miaoyi paused and blushed as she said to Lin Yi. Don't call me sister anymore. You can call me and Miaoyi. Lin Yi chuckled. Actually, I think calling you sister is not bad. Sometimes, life needs the taste of a dressing. What did you say? Oh, I didn't say anything. Let's just call you and Miaoyi, my wife. While saying these words, Lin Yi ran away. And Miaoyi frowned and bit her lip hard. This enemy actually likes this. The current Lin Yi is different from before. When he used to guard the medicinal field, he only memorized how to water and fertilize certain medicinal herbs. Which kind of herb is suitable for which part of the medicinal field? This was the result of discussions within Miaoyi. But now, Lin Yi realized that his 10 years of experience in alchemy were not in vain. He may not be as good as Wang Deyang, but his alchemy skills have far surpassed the average person. Now, all he needs is a quick glance to know how to match those herbs, how to combine them with other herbs, and what kind of medicinal effects they will produce. Even some herbs have a slight toxicity when used in certain quantities. When refining ointments with these herbs, one can achieve the highest medicinal value to price ratio. In all these matters, there is no lack of clarity. It is simply a matter of being knowledgeable about herbs, like an experienced herbalist. If I were to hide away and live a meager life, I wouldn't have much ability. But with an Miaoyi by my side, and if I were to marry a few more wives and have a few more children, the pressure of life would indeed be great. However, with the various experiences brought by this Goldfinger, I have solved a large portion of my worries. Becoming an alchemist, making money will be as easy as turning over my hand. By then, raising children will be a breeze. And who knows, perhaps the future generations will provide me with even more experience in alchemy. I could soar to great heights and become a renowned immortal pill master. After collecting some herbs, Lin Yi and Miaoyi left the medicinal field. Before leaving, Lin Yi thought for a moment and, just to be safe, put the rainstorm pear needle in his pocket. Having the rainstorm pear needle, even when facing someone as powerful as an 8 Grandmaster and Lao, if there is an accident, I still have a better chance of winning if my strength hasn't reached that level yet. As a future powerhouse destined for brilliance and excellence, I cannot falter in the early stages when I am not yet strong enough. Before becoming powerful, one must be cautious in all matters. With the rainstorm pear needle equipped, Lin Yi's confidence increased. On the way, and Miaoyi put on her face veil again. Before, Lin Yi didn't understand, but now he understands why Miaoyi wears the face veil once she leaves the medicine field. He used to think that she was afraid of her appearance, attracting unwanted attention and unnecessary trouble, so she wore the face veil. Now he finally understands that Miaoyi is afraid of exposing her face and having her identity discovered by others. And Miaoyi is truly the young miss of the mansion. Although she wears a face veil, due to her mysterious figure and graceful walking posture, there is still a noticeable difference compared to before, which has already attracted the attention of many people. Noticing that Lin Yi is walking beside Miaoyi in a somewhat ambiguous manner, many people look at Lin Yi with unfriendly eyes. Thief, thief, how audacious. There's a thief in our mansion. The mansion is currently in chaos, with many people shouting that there is a thief in the mansion. Lin Yi noticed the expression on Miaoyi's face, and a hint of fear appeared above her eyebrows. Lin Yi was surprised in her heart, but quickly understood that Miaoyi probably thought that someone from the Scorching Sun sect, like Wang Deyang, had come to an mansion, so she was scared. Subconsciously, Lin Yi reached out and held Miaoyi's hand tightly. Don't be afraid, sister, madam, I'm here. Who are you calling madam? And Miaoyi was stunned for a moment, then gave Lin Yi a white glance. But her mood became much more relaxed. Lin Yi smirked and didn't say much. He began to eat a few tender parts of the herbs he had just pulled out, like eating a big radish. And Miao Yi was stunned. Is this how you eat them? Lin Yi nodded. Essence nurturing, madam. Your body was severely weakened yesterday. Quote. And Miao Yi blushed and stomped her foot. The two continued forward and just arrived at the largest conference hall in an mansion when they heard people from the An family shouting loudly. Who knows who this is and why they came to our An family? Yeah, I heard that this thief who came in didn't even take any valuable items from our An family. This person in the black robe walks around our An family as if we are nothing. What should we do? I heard the report that this person seems to have left, at least no one has seen him again. This thief is so arrogant, he must have extraordinary strength. Do you think it's possible that this person is a cultivator? The room was filled with noise. When An Miao Yi brought Lin Yi to the front, someone immediately reached out and stopped the two of them. An mansion is a restricted area, no outsiders are allowed to enter. After saying just one sentence, he couldn't help but frown and look at An Miao Yi and Lin Yi. The discussion inside the room came to a sudden halt. Soon, An Miao Yi spoke up, it's me. Her voice was quite loud, and as soon as she finished speaking, An Miao Yi herself was a little stunned. She felt that something was not right. When she spoke, her internal energy kept running, making An Miao Yi feel like her strength had recovered a bit. There were some things An Miao Yi didn't tell Lin Yi. When she left the Scorching Sun sect, An Miao Yi was severely injured by her nominal husband, the young master of the Scorching Sun sect, with a palm strike. But now, An Miao Yi felt that the area where she was injured had improved a lot. Why was that? Thinking about it, An Miao Yi couldn't figure it out and could only attribute it to Lin Yi. Suddenly, An Miao Yi turned her head and looked at Lin Yi, her heart filled with shock. She had never eaten pork, but she had seen pigs run. Could it be? Lin Yi's physique is very special. Make your injuries become less severe. At the thought of this, An Miao Yi was stunned. The more she thought about it, the more likely An Miao Yi felt it was. At the same time, a tremendous shock surged in her heart. An Miao Yi increasingly felt that Lin Yi was mysterious and unpredictable, full of secrets. Inside the house, An Yingxiang, the old master, was discussing with many people from the An family about what exactly happened with that thief. Only An Yingxiang understood that the only reason why their An family could provoke such a powerful enemy was one thing. Apart from the Scorching Sun sect, it was the precious treasure of the immortal family that made everyone jealous of the An family. But if the person who came was related to the Scorching Sun sect, they would definitely not hesitate to take action. That means the person who came is very likely to be looking for the An family's immortal family treasure. Even so, they would disdain those trivial matters such as money and wealth, which would only make things more troublesome. An Yingxiang's face was full of bitterness. Upon hearing An Miao Yi's words, An Yingxiang was stunned, and quickly rushed out, standing at the door of the meeting hall. Waving his hand, An Yingxiang said in a deep voice, "Let her in." The guard was a little confused, but soon let the two in. An Yingxiang waved his hand towards the meeting hall. All right, now you go and search to see if that thief is still in the An mansion, and try to find out his intentions. After speaking, An Yingxiang let these members of the An family leave quickly. Seeing An Miao Yi bringing Lin Yi in, many people couldn't help but frown. They looked at An Miao Yi and Lin Yi, but had no impression of them in their minds. Shaking their heads, because this was an order issued by An Yingxiang, the aura of an innate Grand Master resonated in their bodies, causing these people to leave quickly. While everyone else left, one person stayed behind. Father, I feel that I must stay because I have new clues about that man in black. An Yingxiang's face changed, and his brows furrowed even deeper. Third son, what do you mean? I told you all to leave, why are you still here? The middle-aged man called the third son shook his head. When everyone else left, in the meeting hall, only An Yingxiang, An Miao Yi, and Lin Yi remained. At this moment, the middle-aged man's originally miserable face suddenly changed. He had a smile on his face. Then, he contemptuously glanced in the direction of Lin Yi and An Miao Yi. In An Yingxiang's unbelieving eyes, he actually walked step by step into the house and sat on the chair where An Yingxiang, the person in charge, should sit. Soon, his face turned into an openly arrogant and somewhat crazy expression. He, father, oh father, originally there was something I wanted to wait a few more days before taking action, but now I can't wait anymore. You, as an old and strong person, and a master of the martial Tao sect, still have a long time to live, but I don't. My current strength is only at the first level of the acquired realm, not even close to becoming a master like you. I could endure all of this before. But now that someone else has set their sights on our and family's precious things, I have to study them carefully. That thing is related to immortal fate and is our and family's heirloom. Instead of letting others benefit from it, I might as well benefit myself. Don't look at me like that. Before my mother died, she told me that there is a chance for our family to become cultivators. Father, even though you are a martial artist, how confident do you think you are in front of cultivators? The middle-aged man said this and took out a jade pendant, playing with it slowly in his hand. Hee, I have already contacted a cultivator. As long as I crush this jade pendant, everyone in the Yin family, dozens of people, will be killed by him. Then I will become the master of the Yin family. But I am not that kind of person. I prefer a happy and harmonious family. Give me the treasure, and the Yin family can continue to enjoy wealth and prosperity. Otherwise, I will make sure the Yin family never has peace. Hearing his words, and Yingxiang instinctively spoke. And Ming Yuan, what do you mean? What nonsense are you talking about? And Yingxiang's aura surged, and he walked forward step by step. Unexpectedly, and Yingxiang's threat did not make his third son fearful. Instead, he smiled even more and said arrogantly, I'm so scared, father. You want to threaten me, but it won't work. I told you, I know a cultivator. And in order to become a cultivator, to live forever and become incredibly powerful, I don't think it matters whether you and the rest of our clan stay or not. Give me the treasure that can give me a chance to become a cultivator, and let me become the head of the Yin family. Otherwise. As he said this, he raised the jade pendant in his hand and shook it in front of An Yingxiang. Otherwise, I will crush this jade pendant. This is a communication jade pendant. If I crush it, the cultivator will know that I am in danger and will come to the Yin family personally. By then, not only will the Yin family's chance to become cultivators be taken away by outsiders, but that cultivator will also kill everyone in the Yin family, except for me. Moreover, you are no longer a threat, and your life is completely in my hands. Looking at the middle-aged man's face, and Yingxiang suddenly stopped in his tracks. The proud aura that once emanated from his body suddenly shrank, as if he had turned into an old man on the verge of death. Letting out a sigh, and Yingxiang came to An Miaoyi and Lin Yi's side. Lin Yi could clearly see that An Yingxiang had been completely provoked. His eyes were bloodshot, and his beard was about to stand up. It was imaginable how angry he was. If it were Lin Yi, he would be even angrier. And Ming Yuan, the third son, actually threatened An Yingxiang's life and the lives of all the martial artists in the Yin family. He was simply not human. A despicable scum. At the same time, it made Lin Yi deeply understand the importance of the opportunity to cultivate. Or rather, the importance of longevity and becoming stronger through cultivation. Did you see that An Ming Yuan is like this just for a chance to become a cultivator? What if I say no? And Yingxiang gritted his teeth and shook his head. As soon as he finished speaking, and Ming Yuan spoke, do you still have a choice? And Ming Yuan sneered, do I still have a choice? You will pass on the entire and family business to the daughter of grandfather's son, your favorite granddaughter. Someone we haven't even seen a few times, stop talking nonsense and give me the opportunity I want. Even if you're not afraid of death, you should think about the lives of the entire and family. And Yingxiang was still angry, and his aura surged again. While An Ming Yuan was speaking, he suddenly rushed towards An Ming Yuan at high speed. Evil child, I'll kill you directly. For the sake of cultivating immortality, you dare to kill our entire clan, patricide. But just as he was halfway through his charge, there was a snap, and he stumbled and fell in front of An Ming Yuan. Not good. You, what? You, yes, now that father, you, have been drugged, I believe you won't be able to move for quite some time. I will give you enough time to think, An Ming Yuan said, then went to Lin Yi's side and looked at An Miaoyi, furrowing his brow. Why do you give me a familiar feeling? Who are you? And Miaoyi took off her veil and sighed. Third uncle, you actually forgot about me. You said second grandpa would give everything to me. I really didn't expect that, third uncle, because of this, you would target second grandpa and everyone in the Yin family. Third uncle, you're in the wrong. And Ming Yuan was stunned, then his eyes showed a sinister look. Fine, fine, I really didn't expect that in Miaoyi, you have returned to the Yin family, not in the Scorching Sun sect. This is even better, I will directly deal with you. As for whether what I did was right or wrong, it's not for you to judge. If it weren't for my father, and Yingxiang, relying solely on your deceased grandfather and your useless father who couldn't even cultivate martial Dao, how could the Yin family prosper? I will still kill you. Lin Yi shook his head. And Ming Yuan looked at Lin Yi and furrowed his brow. You, the servant in menial clothes, why are you shaking your head? As Ming Yuan said these words, his anger poured out onto Lin Yi. He didn't like the look in this kid's eyes. Before he finished speaking, Ming Yuan saw Lin Yi walking towards him step by step. For a moment, Ming Yuan was a little dazed. PFF'd, ha ha ha. Unable to hold it in, Ming Yuan laughed. Since you're seeking death, I'll kill you first and then talk. Lin Yi looked at Yingxiang, then walked up to Ming Yuan in the smiling gaze of Miaoyi, with a cold smile on his face. Kill me first. Sorry, I have to disable you first, because I'm going to ruin your plan. The so-called immortal opportunity you mentioned, it belongs to me. Confused, Ming Yuan instinctively asked, why should it belong to you? You, a servant, who do you think you are? A worthless person who doesn't know their place. Lin Yi chuckled, I am Miaoyi's husband, so of course the immortal opportunity belongs to me. And Miaoyi's husband, you little brat, you're seeking death. Before the word, death, could fully leave his mouth, a loud smack greeted him. A resounding slap to the face. I've killed Wang Deyang, and you're the last one. If it weren't for the fact that you're Miaoyi's uncle and this is an internal matter of the Yin family, to be resolved by Laozi, I would kill you right now. In the next moment, Lin Yi slapped Ming Yuan's face. And Ming Yuan was hit so hard that he spat out blood and flew sideways, falling to the ground. And Ming Yuan's face showed an expression of disbelief. Impossible. No matter what, I am a first-class expert at the acquired stage. How could you break through my defense with just one punch? You're so young, such a genius. Impossible, impossible, when did Great Harmony Town have such a person? Just like when he defeated Wang Deyang, Lin Yi stepped forward again. There are many impossible things, how can everything be as you imagine? But, you're right about one thing, I am a genius. Smack. Lin Yi slapped Ming Yuan's face again. This slap is for you, as a person, disregarding family and relatives for the so-called cultivation of immortal fate. Smack, followed by a second slap. This slap is to tell you not to underestimate anyone. Smack, followed by a third slap. This slap is to tell you that if you provoke me, you're asking for death. Then came the sound of continuous slaps. These slaps have no reason, I just want to slap you. Why did you faint? After slapping him a few times, Lin Yi noticed that Ming Yuan's face was swollen like a pig's head and he had completely passed out. Satisfying. Really satisfying. When Lin Yi used the withered tree reviving spring dual cultivation technique again after more than 10 years, he still felt something incredible. And the aura on Lin Yi's body made Yingxiang, who was lying on the ground, even more shocked. This. After a while, Yingxiang was too shocked to say a word. Lin Yi looked at Yingxiang, whose mouth was wide open. An old man, nice to meet you. I am your grandson-in-law. Can you give me that immortal fate? And Yingxiang felt that Lin Yi had a thick skin. At this time, Miaoyi also walked up and stood in front of Lin Yi with a mysterious figure. She looked at Lin Yi, nodded with a determined look, and a hint of excitement in her expression. When she knocked down Wang Deyang in an instant before, she had already seen Lin Yi's extraordinariness, but she couldn't estimate his strength. At this moment, she estimated Lin Yi's strength to be comparable to an ordinary innate grandmaster of the martial Dao. Otherwise, it would be impossible to defeat her third uncle, who was at the peak of the acquired realm, so easily. And the way Lin Yi slapped people made Miaoyi feel as if she had been struck by something. She reached out and held Lin Yi's hand. There was a firmness in her eyes as Miaoyi spoke to Yingxiang. Grandpa, you've seen it too. Actually, Lin Yi is a cultivator. He has just embarked on the path of cultivation and is already comparable to an ordinary martial Dao innate grandmaster. If he really cultivates the immortal law, he will definitely be extraordinary. After all, After all, he has spirit root. Grandpa, if you give him the immortal fate you mentioned before, our family can truly establish a foothold in Great Harmony Town. Grandpa, now that the third uncle knows an evil cultivator, we can only rely on Lin Yi. I believe in him. At this point, and Miao Yi tightened her grip on Lin Yi's hand, her eyes filled with infinite expectation, but her voice was as soft as a mosquito. This, I believe, made Lin Yi feel extremely satisfied. He turned around and held An Miao Yi's hand in return. I believe in myself too. And Yingxiang, who was shocked, looked at Lin Yi and suddenly remembered something. I have an impression of you. You are the servant in the medicine field, but... And Yingxiang stared blankly at An Miao Yi. Yi, how are you with him? And Miao Yi blushed, but quickly spoke up. Grandpa, isn't it good for me to be with a cultivator? What is our family afraid of then? And Yingxiang wanted to say more, but when he looked at Lin Yi, he suddenly understood and couldn't help but smile bitterly. I was too narrow-minded. Lin Yi is not just a servant in the medicine field, but a cultivator. Naturally, no, Yi, you are from the Scorching Sun sect. If Nangong Tian and others from the Scorching Sun sect find out that you have a husband again, then what should we do? I'm afraid they will go crazy. So what if it's the Scorching Sun sect? I've been hiding all this time, and they haven't made a move. Besides, I just want to be with Lin Yi. The opportunity is right in front of us now. If I settle down, I won't be a burden to anyone. As long as second grandfather gives me that treasure, or more accurately, hands it over to Lin Yi, then the An family won't have to worry about anything, and I won't be afraid of the Scorching Sun sect anymore. And Miao Yi's eyes were determined, and her words were full of confidence in Lin Yi. It was obvious that just now, Lin Yi's aura was surging, specifically targeting An Mingyuan. This made An Miao Yi feel that Lin Yi's strength must be extraordinary, so she no longer had any worries. And Miao Yi didn't mention anything about Wang Deyang. She had discussed it with Lin Yi and decided to keep this matter a secret because of Wang Deyang's special identity. As long as the two of them knew, it would be enough. Lin Yi walked forward and mixed several medicinal herbs he had pulled from the medicinal field together, rubbing them in his hands. He could tell that An Yingxiang, the old master, was not only the guardian deity of the entire An family, but also very aware of many things surrounding An Miao Yi. The two of them had a friendly relationship. So after relaxing, Lin Yi decided to perform well. Just now, Lin Yi understood that An Miao Yi's grandfather had already passed away, and as for An Miao Yi's parents, they should still be alive. Now this second grandfather is the head of the An family, and many things in the An family have to be arranged according to his instructions. And Miao Yi has a good relationship with him. Lin Yi decided to first deal with the anesthetic on old Master An's body. He mixed these medicinal herbs together in a certain proportion, and then approached old Master An. When old Master An was somewhat puzzled, Lin Yi reached out and slapped him, making a loud sound. Each slap was quite powerful. Ouch, ouch. Old Master An was a little dazed and subconsciously let out a cry of surprise. But as those medicines continued to hit his body, old Master An's originally puzzled and angry face suddenly changed. He felt that the strength of those anesthetics in his body seemed to be gradually decreasing. Upon closer inspection, it turned out that every time Lin Yi struck, he was able to forcefully hit those medicines into his skin. Through his skin, the medicinal effects penetrated into his body. Lin Yi continued to slap for a while, thoroughly waking up old Master An. After a while, old Master An felt that he had regained some strength. Old Master An subconsciously spoke, You're actually a knowledgeable pharmacist. Lin Yi nodded, yes, I am. And Miao Yi was also a little dumbfounded. She really didn't know what Lin Yi was doing just now. Now that she saw Lin Yi finish all this, and old Master An seemed to have regained his strength, she looked at Lin Yi as if she was seeing him for the first time. You actually understand pharmacology. Lin Yi straightened his body, of course. And Miao Yi suddenly changed her expression, her face flushed, biting her teeth, looking extremely resentful towards Lin Yi. This made Lin Yi a little helpless. This beauty was really like a child, changing her mind so easily, as if it were June, always changing. No, Yi, what do you mean? Why are you looking at me like that? And Miao Yi roared, You understand pharmacology, So why didn't you detoxify me properly when Wang Dayang used that medicine on me? Instead, you did that. Lin Yi never expected that An Miaoyi was waiting for him here. He couldn't argue with her about this. Upon careful consideration, after being drugged by An Miaoyi, he had actually gained 10 years of experience in medicine from the inheritance of his descendants. He really knew how to detoxify. It's just that he chose the most direct method. Lin Yi's eyes dodged. That wasn't it. You told me to choose the most direct method, right? And Miaoyi snorted and turned her head away. Lin Yi chuckled. Only An Yingxiang was a little confused, his gaze shifting between An Miaoyi and Lin Yi, and he smiled bitterly. Yi, help me up. And Miaoyi suddenly remembered this matter and helped An Yingxiang up. And Yingxiang sat back in the chair and sighed as he looked at the collapsed An Mingyuan in the distance. Since you're not a servant but a cultivator, I can rest assured. And you're even a pharmacist. In this case, our family is in great danger, so it's better to entrust that thing to you. I only need your promise. Can you ensure the safety of our family? Lin Yi nodded. I will do my best. And Yingxiang was satisfied. Good, then I'll give you that thing. After saying that, he glared fiercely at the unconscious An Mingyuan. As for this unfilial son, I will disable him and lock him in the water dungeon to suffer and die. And Yingxiang seemed to have lost his strength. After resting for a while, he began to tell the story. This also made Lin Yi understand what exactly that thing was. It turned out that the An family used to be a cultivation family. However, unfortunately, after the appearance of a cultivator, the An family never gave birth to a child with spirit root, which gradually led to the decline of the An family. An ordinary mortal doesn't have spirit root, so it's impossible to continue cultivating. The An family went from being a cultivation family to an ordinary family. However, being a family that had given birth to children with spirit root, although they couldn't cultivate, they could still succeed in martial arts. The An family, fearing revenge from enemies, came to Great Harmony Town and became a renowned martial Dao family. The so-called immortal fate in An Yingxiang's hands was the spirit stone hidden by the cultivator of the An family. A fallen family forced to move to a corner. The An family had indeed given birth to descendants with spirit root. As Lin Yi listened to An Laoyi's story, he not only became greatly interested in the spirit stone, but also thought that if An Miaoyi gave birth to a child, she might give birth to a child with spirit root. The chances were quite high. Turning his head, he looked at An Miaoyi. I never expected, madam, that you are a descendant of a cultivation family with spirit root. If that's the case, I also have spirit root. If we combine our roots, maybe, you can give birth to a child with spirit root. As An Yingxiang listened to An Laoyi's story, he intended to comfort him, but he didn't expect Lin Yi to bring up having children. An Miaoyi, who was almost unable to stand steady, blushed subconsciously and angrily said, What are you thinking? It's already this late and you're still thinking about having children. Speaking up to this point, An Miaoyi realized that she had gone a bit too far with her embarrassment. She quickly coughed a few times and went to An Mingyuan, who had already fainted. She reached out and felt his nose, sensing a faint breath. An Miaoyi stood up again and took the jade pendant from his hand. She looked at the jade pendant with a serious expression, mixed with a hint of panic. It's true. This jade slip that third uncle was holding is a sound transmission jade slip. Once it's crushed, the owner of the jade slip will definitely sense it. However, he said that this person and the thief from the An mansion are not the same. What should we do? Our An family has gained 2 more enemies. And Yingxiang's face darkened, but soon he looked at Lin Yi, stood up, and shook his head. Now everything depends on Lin Yi. If Lin Yi becomes a cultivator, Scorching Sun sect is nothing to fear. We don't need to worry about anything. When Scorching Sun sect was mentioned, and Yingxiang's eyes turned sour. He said to An Miaoyi, I'm sorry for you. Fortunately, the young master of Scorching Sun sect is a eunuch. Otherwise, if you had to marry him, I would regret it. And Miaoyi glanced at Lin Yi and comforted An Yingxiang. It's okay, second grandfather. I'm back, aren't I? I even found a loophole. Who would have thought that a lowly servant would turn out to be a cultivator? Everything happens naturally, there is cause and effect in the world. And Yingxiang nodded and looked at Lin Yi with anticipation. Yes, yes, that's exactly it. But that scorching sun sect. Lin Yi, when you become strong, remember to destroy the scorching sun sect. That young master of the Scorching Sun sect actually wanted to use An Miaoyi as a furnace, using evil methods to completely drain her and enhance his cultivation. This is simply inhumane, and we cannot let that young master get away with it. After listening to An Yingxiang's words, Lin Yi finally understood what was going on. Clearly, it was because the young master of the Scorching Sun sect wanted to use An Miaoyi as a furnace that she escaped and returned, leading to the events that followed. Lin Yi nodded solemnly. Don't worry, Grandpa, and I will personally protect Yi Yi and become stronger to seek revenge for her. Upon hearing Lin Yi's words, and Miao Yi's expression, which had been rolling her eyes at Lin Yi, improved significantly. We can't delay any longer. There are still people watching over the Mansion's immortal fate. You two should go to the back mountain now. There, our ancestors left behind some precious treasures. As long as you make good use of these treasures, you won't have to worry about anything. I remember there is a cultivation technique there, a technique from the 100 Flowers sect that is suitable for female cultivators. However, Yi Yi, you shouldn't cultivate for now because you don't have a spirit root. Lin Yi, you should see if that technique is suitable for you to cultivate and officially embark on the path of cultivation. Don't underestimate that technique, it is suitable for both men and women. Also, you can use the spirit stones there as you please. Lin Yi, you need to quickly enter the qi refining stage. With your spirit root, it should be fast. At this point, An Yingxiang took out a palm-sized jade slip. However, let's do a test first. Only those with a spirit root, those who can cultivate and have spiritual energy within them, can read the information in this jade slip. Then you will naturally be able to see through the formations left by our ancestors in the back mountain and enter the true formations. Take it and see if you can read the information. Listening to An Yingxiang's words, Lin Yi hesitated. He also wanted to confirm whether the more than 10 years of power he gained from cultivating the withered tree reviving spring technique was indeed spiritual energy. After all, this withered tree reviving spring technique was somewhat special. He could only cultivate it during certain activities within Miaoyi. Lin Yi really didn't understand whether there was spiritual energy within him during cultivation. He just knew it felt great. Feeling a bit embarrassed, Lin Yi placed his hand on the jade slip. To be honest, Lin Yi felt a bit nervous. He should have a spirit root since he could cultivate the withered tree reviving spring technique, but he hadn't tested it yet. With determination, Lin Yi was also very excited. The small palm-sized jade slip suddenly lit up. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. And Yingxiang laughed. This time, he clearly felt relieved, and his excited beard was even more unruly. He stood up directly and pushed Lin Yi and Miaoyi forcefully. Go, go, you two, hurry up. Lin Yi, you really have a spirit root. Our family is going to prosper because of you. Our ancestors will be pleased. Lin Yi relaxed. He really had a spirit root. Lin Yi and An Miaoyi confirmed once again that An Yingxiang's numbness from the medicinal treatment had passed, and they quickly left. They couldn't afford to delay the matter of the immortal fate. There were great dangers both internally and externally. Lin Yi had to quickly embrace the growth of the immortal fate. After all, from the discussions in the council hall, Lin Yi learned that a new enemy had appeared in the An family, also seeking the immortal fate. In addition, after An Mingyuan crushed the jade slip in his hand, it was possible that enemies would be attracted. The two of them had to hurry to the back mountain. However, Lin Yi actually felt that this immortal fate was too simple, just 100 Flowers sect cultivation technique and a few spirit stones. Even if there were other things, they probably weren't that great. Although a mosquito is small, it is still meat, but Lin Yi still felt that this immortal fate couldn't compare to marrying a wife and having children. Chapter 11. Entering luxury from frugality is easy, but entering frugality from luxury is difficult. Now that I have descendants and the resources for cultivating immortal fate, I can't even be bothered with settling down and using them. Lin Yi thought to himself. At the back of An mansion, in the location of the medicinal field, a person dressed in a black robe stood there. If one were to get closer and had some strength, they would clearly feel a unique aura emanating from this figure in the black robe. At the same time, this aura fluctuated intensely. Sometimes it was stable, sometimes it fluctuated greatly. Looking at the black-robed figure, it would occasionally tremble along with the fluctuations in the aura. However, despite the loose appearance of the black robe, it couldn't conceal the attractive figure underneath. If the noisy people from the inn mansion had seen this, they would surely exclaim, "Isn't this the thief who entered the inn mansion?" Clearly, no one could have imagined that this thief was actually a woman, and she was injured, emitting a powerful aura. The injuries are quite severe. Just wait, those hypocritical fool from the 100 Flowers sect, shameless as they are, actually had 2 people attack me alone. He. Once I, Qin Yao, recover from my injuries, I will immediately seek revenge. After Qin Yao finished speaking, she lifted the hat on her black robe, revealing a stunning face. Qin Yao's appearance was simply breathtaking. Not only was her face exceptionally beautiful, but her figure was also top-notch, slightly taller than An Miaoyi. As she stood there, occasionally accompanied by fluctuations in her aura, the black robe also swayed. Her gaze was fixed on the medicinal field, and then she plucked many herbs from it. After some thought, she washed one of the well-presented ginseng roots with water from a water jar. She took a bite. Pitui. However, the bitterness of the ginseng made her spit it out as soon as she put it in her mouth. I don't know how to prepare medicine either, but since there's a medicinal field here, there should be a pharmacist in a mansion. I just need to find them. These secular families that can't cultivate immortality, no matter how powerful they are useless. They don't even have a single pill. It was a waste of time for me to look around just now. The reason Qin Yao was searching around an mansion but not causing harm was simple: she wanted to treat her injuries. She was injured by 2 female cultivators from the 100 Flowers sect, and her own pills fell to the ground and were taken by those female cultivators. So she wanted to see if there were any healing pills in a mansion. But she didn't expect that although the mansion seemed large, because it was a family of secular martial cultivators, she didn't see a single pill. In fact, Qin Yao overlooked one thing: pills are precious to every cultivator, and many people wouldn't place them in an obvious location. Qin Yao only took a quick glance, so how could she discover those pills? Fortunately, Qin Yao eventually found the medicinal field. But these herbs were difficult to eat raw and their effects were absorbed very slowly, which made Qin Yao feel extremely frustrated. Soon, Qin Yao lowered her head and noticed that she had just spat out some ginseng liquid, which stained her chest and dirtied the clothes inside her black robe. At the same time, this movement affected her wound. Qin Yao couldn't help but grit her teeth, stood up, and prepared to leave. I still need to look for a pharmacist nearby. If I can't find one, I need to leave here quickly. This is Great Harmony Town, still within the territory of the 100 Flowers sect. Qin Yao worried that those shameless female cultivators from the 100 Flowers sect might catch up with her. Thinking of this, Qin Yao decided to stay here for a while longer. Once the pharmacist responsible for this medicinal field arrived, she would take action. However, what puzzled Qin Yao was that this medicinal field should have someone taking care of it, but when she arrived, she noticed that many herbs were missing from the field. Even when she looked around, she only saw 2 houses in the distance. This large medicinal field, covering an acre of land, contained herbs that, although not very precious in her eyes, should be extremely valuable in the mortal world. Yet, there were only 2 houses guarding it, and it seemed that only 2 or 3 people lived there. This seemed a bit off. Lin Yi and An Miaoyi had already walked towards this place. To reach the location of the immortal fate in the back mountain and activate the formation set up by the An Mansion's ancestor, they had to pass through here. Lin Yi had a doubt in his heart: wife. What wife? Why do you keep calling me wife? We haven't. An Miaoyi frowned and didn't say anything more. Lin Yi didn't care about what An Miaoyi was thinking. Wife, the person in our An Mansion with the spirit root, the old ancestor who can cultivate and become an immortal, he found Great Harmony Town and set up the formation here. From this perspective, that old ancestor has lived for a long time. Do you know any information about him? Also, I have a question. Our old ancestor is clearly a man, so how did he join the 100 Flowers sect and cultivate the Baihua technique, which is suitable for female cultivation? And Miaoyi wasn't sure if Lin Yi was changing the subject. She snorted and shook her head. I don't know either. I only know that our old ancestor is indeed a cultivator of the 100 Flowers sect, and he is indeed a man. But isn't that normal? Although the 100 Flowers sect is for female cultivators, they are willing to accept some talented individuals. There are also male cultivators in the 100 Flowers sect, but they are in the minority. Besides, at this point, and Miaoyi paused, preparing to educate Lin Yi. You don't understand the distribution of power. We are in Central State, which has 3 major kingdoms and 12 small countries, all controlled by the 4 major sects. Outside of Central State, there are 3 other regions, which are the territories of foreign races. The Western region is called the Western Domain, where the Buddhist gate and great monsters prevail. There is also an area where the Taoist sects prevail, which is the Southern Domain. In the far north is the savage country known for its wilderness, where there are the most monsters and creatures. The people there have white skin, blue eyes, and some even have black skin. They are very different from our human race. In Central State, the 4 major sects are the Joyous Union sect, 100 Flowers sect, Azure Cloud sect, and Imperial Sword sect. In addition to these 4 major sects, there are also some formidable smaller sects. There are even forces that are not weaker than the 4 major sects. For example, some influential clans, powerful commercial alliances, and legendary sacred lands. In addition to Central State, the Western Domain, Southern Domain, and the Northern Wilderness, there are endless seas beyond the continent. We have them here in Central State. In those seas, there are countless great monsters and countless islands. It is said that there are many powerful sects there. In Central State, the 4 major sects are the leaders. Because among these 4 major sects, every strongest cultivator is at least in the nascent soul stage, and they also possess powerful law treasures and domineering techniques, making the 4 major sects exceptionally strong. Whether it's Great Harmony Town or the place where our and family was before, they are all within the territory of the 100 Flowers sect. So if you don't cultivate there, where else would you go? Hey, are you even listening? And Miaoyi was focused on speaking when she suddenly furrowed her brows. She noticed that Lin Yi's eyes seemed to reveal a hint of desire. She initially thought it was because of what she said. But soon, she realized something was wrong. Why was Lin Yi drooling while listening to her words? Originally, Lin Yi thought there were too many powerful beings in this world and that he needed to be cautious. And Miaoyi's words also proved this point. However, Lin Yi also felt that after obtaining the descendant successor record, if he wanted to have many wives and concubines like hair on an ox, he would need to have a comprehensive score of at least 80, just like in Miaoyi. It was actually quite difficult. He couldn't treat it like choosing a concubine every time and touch those girls to check their scores, right? Wouldn't he be seen as a pervert by others? And when would he have the chance to possibly touch one? But if he acted a little more high profile, became a named disciple of the 100 Flowers sect or the Joyous Union sect, and occasionally interacted with the female disciples of these 2 sects, he could find out what they were like. Who knows, there might be many female disciples with a score of over 80, and he could seamlessly connect with them and marry multiple wives. That's why Lin Yi was drooling. However, Lin Yi, who was not sure if he had reached the qi refining stage, couldn't help but feel a little disheartened when he heard about nascent soul stage experts who were the sect masters of the 4 major sects. He was both greedy to go to those 2 sects, especially the 100 Flowers sect, which had some connection to him, and worried at the same time. No, I must go. It's precisely because these sects have powerful cultivators that their comprehensive scores must be extremely high. Children born with them will also be stronger, so I have to go. If not, I'll become a wandering cultivator. Master, senior sisters, senior brothers, aunts, and uncles, I want to improve my cultivation with all of you. At first, and Miaoyi was puzzled by why Lin Yi was acting this way, but soon she thought that Lin Yi was overwhelmed and changed the subject. So, we must seize this opportunity for immortality. If not, Lin Yi, you can join the 100 Flowers sect. Lin Yi, you must cultivate well. By the way, as they were talking, the 2 of them had already arrived at the place where the medicine field was before. Seeing the house and the spot where the water tank was, and Miaoyi spoke, but whether you will join the 100 Flowers sect or not, Lin Yi, you must take responsibility for me. HMPH, you are such an unreliable person. You could have cured me, but you chose that method to detoxify me. You're still a pharmacist, and you actually. Lin Yi quickly waved his hand and said, Madam, stop, The arrow was already on the string and had to be released. I forgot, I am an alchemist now. Since things have come to this point, sister, no, madam, let's not bring up old matters. Think about it, in the future, when I become an immortal cultivator, I can protect the family and also cultivate with you, right? You should think about this. When it came to cultivating with Miaoyi, she hesitated for a while and her face turned slightly red. Let's not talk about that for now. I want to ask you, do you have some special constitution? Otherwise, why did my injuries improve so much after cultivating with you? While they were talking, the sound of footsteps reached Qin Yao's ears. Qin Yao's figure moved, holding the herbs in her hand, and went to the other side of the wooden house. She originally wanted to leave directly, but upon hearing this conversation, her eyes brightened. An alchemist had arrived. With a smile on her lips, Qin Yao prepared to go out. Suddenly, Qin Yao heard that the relationship between the two people seemed a bit confusing, sometimes referred to as sister and sometimes as madam. Qin Yao laughed and walked out with the pile of herbs in her hand just as Lin Yi and Miaoyi were about to speak again. It's a stroke of luck to find what one wants without any effort. Well done, young man. You actually turned your sister into your madam. It shows some of the character of a cultivator from our Joyous Union sect. Quote. Lin Yi just wanted to say that it was indeed a stroke of luck to find what one wants without any effort. This statement really suited his taste. He had been thinking about it himself. It would be best to go to the 100 Flowers sect, become a disciple, and then become a rebellious disciple, discussing how to improve his strength with his master, senior sisters, junior sisters, aunts, and grandaunts. But he didn't expect someone from the Joyous Union sect to appear. However, when Lin Yi looked at Qin Yao, he was momentarily shaken. The first thing he saw was Qin Yao's face. Seeing that beautiful face, Lin Yi couldn't help but widen his eyes. Then his gaze moved down, scanning Qin Yao's whole body. Her figure is even better than Madame Miaoyi's. Compared to Madame and Miaoyi, this face has a few more charming features. Although it doesn't have too many mature traces, combined with this figure, it's simply too top-notch. I wonder how many points this female cultivator from the Joyous Union sect would score in terms of overall value, and whether she meets the standards for future generations to marry and take concubines. Coming back to his senses, when he saw the iconic black robe, Lin Yi was dumbfounded. Could this be the thief from the family? Listening to Qin Yao's words, Lin Yi didn't mind much. He had thick skin, but Miaoyi's face turned red. What did you say? I am not his sister, I am really his madam. And you are the thief that an mansion is looking for, right? What do you mean by stopping us? Take the medicine and leave quickly. We are just ordinary servants of the family, responsible for taking care of the medicinal fields. Look at our clothes, we will pretend we haven't seen you, so please leave. And Miaoyi originally wanted to catch this female thief, but after Qin Yao mentioned that she was a cultivator from the Joyous Union sect, and Miaoyi no longer had such thoughts and ideas. She could only use some means to try to make Qin Yao leave. And Miaoyi did not expect that the person in front of her would have a slightly better appearance and figure than herself, causing Lin Yi to take several glances. The female cultivator who made Lin Yi want to strangle her actually shook her head. Looking at herself, she giggled, like the tinkling of silver bells, producing a crisp and infinitely suggestive sound, step by step approaching the two of them. It's impossible to leave. I'll borrow your husband for a bit. Since he's an alchemist, he must know how to refine medicine. Come on, help me refine medicine. After saying these words, with a swoosh, a sword suddenly appeared in Qin Yao's previously empty hand. This sword was cold and gleaming, and the intense and surging aura that had been emanating from Qin Yao also began to surge. Within this surging aura, almost in an instant, Lin Yi and Miaoyi felt that the air around them was trembling. This strength was truly too strong. Qin Yao looked at Lin Yi, then at Miaoyi. Tisk tisk tisk, I really didn't expect that your sister-in-law and wife would be so good-looking, even more beautiful than me by a few points. You're quite lucky, kid. But it's a pity, you took a few more glances at me just now. I'll have to dig out those 2 eyeballs of yours, and in the future, you can only remember your sister-in-law and wife. So take a good look now. Joyous Union sect. Just hearing this name, one could tell it was a demonic sect. Just because she took a few more glances at the enchantress in front of her, she actually wanted to dig out her eyeballs. Lin Yi was speechless. No, I have to think of a way to counterattack her. But this enchantress's aura is so fierce, what should I do? Oh right, she wants me to refine medicine. Lin Yi narrowed his eyes slightly. A gentleman takes revenge 10 years later, while a villain takes revenge overnight. Since you want me to refine medicine, that means you have no clue about how to refine medicinal herbs and such. I have a chance to deal with you. And Miao Yi's face turned pale and she said loudly, no. Just as she finished speaking, and Miao Yi gritted her teeth and suddenly rushed forward. But the next moment, and Miao Yi found that there was a sword at her throat, appearing out of nowhere. Qin Yao's speed was much faster than hers. Before Miao Yi could even unleash her power, Qin Yao had already placed the sword horizontally at Miao Yi's neck. One more step forward, and you die. And Miao Yi stopped her body and dared not move. Qin Yao looked at Lin Yi, about to speak, ahem, ahem, ahem. Suddenly, blood overflowed from the corner of his mouth. Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat and quickly pointed at Miao Yi, saying, Miss, you asked me to refine medicine, and I can certainly do it for you. But as a man, I have my limits. If you continue to threaten my wife or harm her, I'm sorry, but I won't be able to obey your orders. Lin Yi was gambling. The female immortal in front of him seemed heavily injured, indicating that she must be in a hurry to refine medicine. Lin Yi glanced around and saw a partially bitten ginseng on the ground, indicating that this female immortal from the Joyous Union sect was desperate for a cure. Good, very good. Since you care about your wife to some extent, I can just gouge out your eyes without harming her. But she better not provoke me, or my sword won't spare her. Lin Yi quickly nodded. Rest assured, she won't do anything. Most importantly, my wife is my assistant in refining medicine, so she really can't get hurt. Miss, I will start refining medicine for you now. It seems like you are injured, but I'm not sure how you got hurt. After asking, Lin Yi saw that the female cultivator from the Joyous Union sect was tightly biting her silver teeth. I got injured because of those two vicious female demons from the 100 Flowers sect. They tried to snatch the foundation building pill in a secret realm from me. They both attacked me together. I will definitely seek revenge sooner or later. You just need to refine some pills that can help martial cultivators recover their cultivation. I don't know if these medicinal materials are enough. As she spoke, Qin Yao handed over the medicinal materials. Lin Yi's eyes flickered, then he said, let me try. Unintentionally, when Lin Yi reached out his hand, he touched Qin Yao's hand. Qin Yao's eyes narrowed immediately, and a murderous intent surged. However, Lin Yi pretended not to notice and held the herbs in his hand, saying that it was enough. In Lin Yi's mind, he confirmed that the descendant's record indeed reacted when he touched Qin Yao. Snap, snap, snap. When the descendant's record turned the page, a picture of Qin Yao appeared on the page next to Miao Yi's, along with a line of small characters. Qin Yao, a potential wife and concubine candidate, comprehensive score of 92. Indeed, this female cultivator Qin Yao from the Joyous Union sect had a comprehensive score 2 points higher than Miao Yi. On one hand, Lin Yi was pleasantly surprised that Qin Yao also met the criteria as a wife and concubine candidate according to the descendant's record. On the other hand, he wondered why Miao Yi's score could reach 90 points. Miao Yi couldn't cultivate and didn't have a spirit root, so how could her potential be so strong and her score so high? Seeing Lin Yi retract his hand, Qin Yao suppressed her killing intent and asked, are you sure you can cure me? Lin Yi shook his head, to completely cure you is impossible. You are the fairy of the Joyous Union sect, and ordinary mortal medicine won't be effective. I am just an ordinary alchemist. With a smile, Qin Yao continued, isn't that right? I heard earlier that you have the potential to become a cultivator. Don't you have any way to achieve that? Miss, please don't joke with me. Even if I could become a cultivator, my experience in alchemy is not enough to be considered a master like those known as alchemists among cultivators. So, I'm sorry, but I can't help. Hearing Lin Yi's words, Qin Yao clenched her teeth and said, you focus on alchemy. As long as the medicine you refine is good enough, maybe I'll be in a good mood and won't gouge out your eyes. Seeing Lin Yi's lack of response, Qin Yao looked at Miao Yi, thought for a moment, and pulled her aside. Let me ask you, did you really get injured earlier? Qin Yao asked, nodding her head instinctively. Very well. Qin Yao immediately started examining En Miaoyi, her hands moving around her body. En Miaoyi widened her eyes in anger. This woman from the Joyous Union sect was indeed a witch, actually laying hands on another woman. After scratching and poking for a while, Qin Yao finally let go. It seems you have recovered quite a bit. It seems your younger brother really has some special constitution. This is much faster than recovering through medicine. No, I'm going to see him now. After saying that, Qin Yao rushed to Lin Yi's side and turned back to En Miaoyi with a cold smile. Don't move. If you do, don't blame me for being impolite. Lin Yi was contemplating whether to refine a sedative or something that would worsen the injuries. Like poison. Seeing Qin Yao suddenly appear beside him, Lin Yi was startled. Miss, what do you want to do? Qin Yao's eyes were fixed on him, as if a hungry wolf looking at its prey. Lin Yi was at a loss. What was going on? She had just threatened to refine medicine, but now she seemed to be acting like a hooligan. Could it be? Lin Yi thought of a possibility. Qin Yao used her energy to conduct experiments on Lin Yi's body with one hand, and finally frowned. There's nothing special about your constitution. Your cultivation energy hasn't changed at all. Your constitution should be normal. However, there is a trace of cultivation energy flowing inside you. It seems you really have a spirit root. Why is that? Forget it. Qin Yao looked into the distance and said, I was injured by those two little fools. They might be chasing after me soon. If they come again, I won't be able to handle it. In that case. Qin Yao paused suddenly and then looked at Lin Yi. But no, I don't sense any special constitution from you, and you can't help me recover from my injuries. But, in that case, your wife is also injured. Now you and her can cultivate together, and let me see if you can heal her injuries. If you can, then I'll use you. Lin Yi wanted to say, Miss, you truly live up to being a witch from the Joyous Union sect. But Lin Yi gritted his teeth and looked at Qin Yao, knowing that he still hadn't refined the medicine to deal with her. Just now, Qin Yao had already put the sword into the legendary storage treasure, and now she took the sword out of the storage treasure. In an instant, the sword that had just been pressed against En Miaoyi's neck was now directly against Lin Yi's neck. If you don't agree, then I'll kill you with one sword. No, don't you need me to refine the medicine? He, the medicine won't instantly restore me. Those two fools from the 100 Flowers sect still want to kill me. This time, I'll fight back. One of the reasons Qin Yao was fighting back was because she wasn't sure if the foundation building pill was on the two female cultivators from the 100 Flowers sect. If it really was, then she would have a chance to become stronger and maybe even obtain the foundation building pill from them, completing her foundation building. If Qin Yao was a highly respected female cultivator in the Joyous Union sect, it would be one thing, but unfortunately, she and her master had always been neglected in the Joyous Union sect. For certain reasons, they could even be considered suppressed. Her master was injured in a battle and had been in a daze ever since. Even the foundation building pill, which should not be too precious, Qin Yao had to explore the secret realm to obtain it herself. This time, she had a chance to obtain it, so of course Qin Yao didn't want to let go. Seeing Qin Yao's appearance, Lin Yi looked towards the distant house, reassuring En Miaoyi. Quote. Lin Yi sighed and threw the herbs on the ground, as if giving up. This appearance made Qin Yao furious, her face frosty. Qin Yao spoke, it seems like I can only kill you directly. Hold on. Lin Yi hurriedly said, I'm not disagreeing, but you have to promise me one thing. Qin Yao narrowed her eyes, speak. However, the sword moved a little closer. Lin Yi looked down at the extremely sharp sword and moved his body back slightly. You have to agree to become my concubine. Otherwise, today we will all die together, and you can wait for those 200 Flowers sect female immortals to find you. Qin Yao, who originally thought Lin Yi would make some unreasonable demands, was stunned. He wanted her to agree to become his concubine. But after thinking about it, Qin Yao thought, what's the harm in agreeing? As long as she recovered from her injuries, she could leave at any time and still be on top, becoming a female cultivator in the Joyous Union sect. After a long while, Qin Yao's face showed a coldness as she said, fine, I agree. Just as Qin Yao finished speaking, Lin Yi's heart burst into laughter. After Qin Yao agreed, the Descendants record almost instantly responded. Descendants record. Marrying concubines, comprehensive score of 92 points for Qin Yao. Randomly rewarded with 20 years of cultivation, 20 years of lifespan, 20 years of alchemy experience, full body strengthening, host's ordinary body promoted to perfect accuracy, divine body. On the Descendants record manual, rewards suddenly appeared. However, what made Lin Yi a little unhappy was that although he gained 20 years of proficiency in the Emperor level high-grade technique, Withered Tree Reviving Spring, and 20 years of lifespan, he was also rewarded with full body strengthening, and it turned out to be a laborious perfect accuracy divine body. As Lin Yi looked on, he became furious. What the hell, isn't the divine body supposed to be the legendary great accomplishment sacred body or something suitable for cultivating immortality like the true dragon body? How did his body strengthening result in obtaining a perfect accuracy divine body? Is this some kind of joke being played on him? But then he thought about it again. The Descendants record was designed specifically for passing down to future generations. Everything he obtained, including the unique meeting gift, was bestowed upon him by this law treasure to strengthen his body and perfect the inheritance of future generations. It seems, rewarding him is also the responsibility of the Descendants record. While Lin Yi was thinking about these things, he felt bursts of golden light flashing through his mind. Soon, his body completely transformed. His body became even younger, as if he had more strength than before. Seeing that Lin Yi was not paying attention and was foolishly laughing there, Qin Yao's expression grew colder and colder. Lin Yi held the herbs in his hand and confidently entered the house. Qin Yao stared blankly at the herbs. Wen and Miao Yi's aura became stronger and she came to Qin Yao's side. Qin Yao impatiently reached out and directly patted her, her eyes filled with joy. Your injuries have really improved a lot. And Miao Yi nodded in surprise. Yes, indeed, my injuries have indeed become lighter, and I even feel a slight increase in my strength. Qin Yao's eyes brightened. When Qin Yao recovered from her injuries and stared at those herbs again, she burst into laughter. Those little fool from the 100 Flowers sect, just you wait. I have recovered now, really recovered. Suddenly, Qin Yao's face showed a hint of anxiety as she looked at Lin Yi standing behind the medicinal field, watching her. Lin Yi, you must not expose yourself, otherwise you will be in danger. The four great sects, the cultivators of the Joyous Union sect are the most evil, and most of the cultivators of the other sects are also superficially righteous. Your uniqueness, in the future, don't just think that it's only ordinary practitioners of the secular martial Tao who will target you, even those cultivators will target you. So you must not expose yourself. Qin Yao found it hard to imagine that she would encounter Lin Yi in this secluded Great Harmony town. If only she could marry Lin Yi and not leave. In that case, why would she need to take risks in any secret realm? Why worry about not becoming the strongest female cultivator in the Joyous Union sect? As long as she was with Lin Yi, she would definitely become the most dazzling young generation of the Joyous Union sect. Even, Qin Yao suddenly remembered her unfortunate master, who was now injured and, if not on the brink of death, at least barely hanging on. Now, her master had hope of recovery. Lin Yi also sensed the burning desire in Qin Yao's eyes. Lin Yi regretted it a little. In order to obtain the reward of the Descendants record, he went against his original intention. However, Lin Yi was not worried. Having a few more female cultivators as wives. This is the society of cultivators with multiple wives. He would welcome it. Branching out and having offspring, he was willing. Lin Yi's only worry was that he would be captured by Qin Yao. Going to the Joyous Union sect would be a risky move. Based on what Qin Yao, this little witch, just said, she seems to enjoy doing things like gouging out people's eyes. Most of the cultivators in the Joyous Union sect must be even worse. If he were to join the sect and become an enemy, it would be better to go to the 100 Flowers sect. Qin Yao's eyes showed reluctance. It made Lin Yi feel like after they got married, Qin Yao didn't want to leave him. But Lin Yi didn't want it to be like that. This witch was constantly suppressing him, and just now she even mentioned gouging out his eyes or doing other things. How could a real man stay under someone else's control? He didn't know his own strength yet, but one thing was certain, he was definitely no match for Qin Yao. If Qin Yao stayed or took him away, wouldn't that just cause trouble for himself? Anyway, Qin Yao would definitely contribute to her powerful eternal family, so why should he let her stay or take her away? If other female cultivators were just clinging to him, he wouldn't be afraid at all. That's what he expected. But if he actively put himself in danger by going to a dangerous place, that wouldn't fit his style. It would be easy to get into trouble and be in danger. The Joyous Union sect wasn't just filled with female cultivators, there were also a bunch of male cultivators. He would be like a dazzling light, and wouldn't they envy and hate him? Wouldn't they mess with him? If he went to the Joyous Union sect, he wouldn't have any control. Forget it, he definitely couldn't go. Cough cough. Lin Yi forced a bitter smile and looked at Qin Yao before speaking. I'll go take some medicine first. I can't handle this anymore. I don't know what kind of constitution I have, but it consumes a lot during cultivation. No, I need to take some herbal medicine. After saying that, Lin Yi moved again, not deliberately stumbling, but walking a bit unsteadily. And Miao Yi was worried and supported Lin Yi. Lin Yi gathered the herbs he had just picked and took a portion of them, then fused them together and chewed on them. Qin Yao looked stunned. This medicine is so bitter, and you just ate it raw. Qin Yao was surprised. The bitter taste of the ginseng she had just eaten was so unbearable that she couldn't swallow it. But Lin Yi smiled faintly. Of course, you have to understand pharmacology, understand the taste of each part of the herbs, and how they blend together to create such a delicious feeling. How can you, who just ate raw ginseng, understand? Qin Yao blushed and felt a little embarrassed. I don't understand. Hearing Qin Yao's words, and Miao Yi couldn't help but sneer, of course you don't understand. Only my husband understands. Quote. Question mark. Lin Yi thought to himself, as expected, monopolies don't bring benefits, only competition does. And Miao Yi actually admitted that she was his wife without any shyness. Clearly, she did it on purpose in front of Qin Yao. Qin Yao looked at Miao Yi and smiled, her smile filled with infinite charm. The next moment, Qin Yao actually came to Lin Yi's side, grabbing his shoulder and leaning against him. A faint fragrance wafted into Lin Yi's nostrils. Soon, Lin Yi shook his head. It seemed that this little witch was using her charm technique on him. He absolutely couldn't waver. Sure enough, the next second, Qin Yao spoke with a soft and pleading voice, no longer with the previous killing intent and condescension. Only pleading. Lin Yi, my husband, just come with me. Since you were able to heal my injuries, maybe you can also help my master recover. My master is currently being suppressed in the Joyous Union sect and is seriously injured. Maybe one day, she will die. As she said this, Qin Yao actually started crying, tears streaming down her face. Lin Yi couldn't help but give Qin Yao a thumbs up. Her acting skills were amazing. But still, it was impossible. With a turn of his eyes, Lin Yi spoke, "Sigh, I would like to go, but right now, look at me, I don't even have a cultivation technique. I don't know how to cultivate. Although I have a spirit root, I still don't know what kind of spirit root it is. The Yin family also has a lot of things going on. It's difficult, really difficult." Speaking of this, Lin Yi clearly felt a hint of joy in Miao Yi's eyes as she stood beside him. You really understand me, my husband. You can't leave us. Our family relies on you now. And Miao Yi walked over and directly held Lin Yi's other arm. Lin Yi felt a bit amused inside, but he pretended to be hesitant on his face. But I can't favor one over the other. Actually, I am also concerned about you, my wife. Lin Yi looked at Qin Yao with sincere eyes. Now that your injuries have healed, why don't you leave? What if the two female cultivators from the 100 Flowers sect really come? You should go, return first. When the matters of the Yin family are settled, I will contact you, or you can leave something behind, like a sound transmission talisman. Lin Yi took out the formation jade slip he had obtained from Ming Yuan earlier. It's this kind of jade slip. You make one for yourself. If there's anything, I'll contact you, or you can contact me at that time. Crush the jade slip to give me a signal. It's not that I won't help you, but first, the matters of the Yin family need to be dealt with, and second, my wife, you are being chased by two female cultivators, aren't you? I'll prepare something for you. Let's heal a few more times and strive for a counterattack while we're at an advantage, and then you can leave. It would be best if you leave some spirit stones and herbs that can help with cultivation, or even law weapons, before you go. I can't leave with the matters of the family unresolved. How can I rest assured? You and Sister N, both of you are my wives. Qin Yao, who was in a daze, came back to her senses after a while, her face filled with anger. Not only do you not accompany me, but you also want to take advantage. You want techniques and treasures. If I had treasures, could I neglect treating my master? Seeing Qin Yao getting angry again, Lin Yi hesitated for a moment and quickly comforted her. Qin Yao pouted and talked about how she and her master were being bullied in the Joyous Union sect. She went from being a figure almost at the saintess level to constantly having to guard against the evil male cultivators of the Joyous Union sect and other senior disciples and elders. Upon hearing this, Lin Yi became a bit angry. He was worried about the environment for his offspring. Although he didn't have much affection for Qin Yao, she was going to bear his children. He couldn't let anything go wrong and affect his rewards. Moreover, no matter what, Qin Yao was now his person. He couldn't let others bully her. However, the current Lin Yi was weak and couldn't do anything. He began to give Qin Yao advice. Don't worry, I've noted down this matter. You just need to endure, and I will find a way to solve it for you. This time, Qin Yao truly cried, not fake crying. She sobbed on Lin Yi's shoulder. Qin Yao left behind her most important possessions. A storage bag and a jade slip containing the profound level middle-grade sword cultivation technique that the Joyous Union sect strictly prohibited from being spread outside. The great freedom sword art that Qin Yao cultivated. Through Qin Yao's words, Lin Yi gained a better understanding of the power of the descendants' records. This great freedom sword art was only a profound level middle-grade technique, but it was already one of the most powerful techniques in the Joyous Union sect. Techniques, medicinal pills, law treasures, talismans, formations, and other cultivation resources and objects are classified into different grades based on their strength, ranging from Wangji, profound level, king level, earth level, heaven level, Dao level, to emperor level. At each level, there are 3 lower grades. But Lin Yi's withered tree reviving spring technique is emperor level high grade. The descendants' record will make a big move, directly advancing to the apex level. That's why when Lin Yi, and Miaoyi, and Qin Yao practice the withered tree reviving spring dual cultivation technique, their injuries and strength will both improve, leading Qin Yao and Miaoyi to mistakenly believe that Lin Yi has a special physique. Qin Yao has already sold her storage ring and only has a small storage bag left. But this storage bag is already the most precious thing Qin Yao can take out. In front of Lin Yi and Miaoyi, Qin Yao opened the storage bag. Inside, there is only one spirit stone, but it is a low-grade spirit stone. In addition to the spirit stone, there is also the jade slip of the Grand Freedom Sword Art, a few pieces of clothing and other daily necessities, as well as a flying sword. Their poor appearance surprised Lin Yi, and Miaoyi, and Qin Yao. Lin Yi even had the urge to go to the back of a mansion and take out the immortal fate to give Qin Yao a possible spirit stone. After thinking about it, Lin Yi decided against it. It would be better to develop and strengthen himself first, and then bring his wives and concubines to become powerful. That is the right path. Otherwise, letting Qin Yao cultivate, hey, what help can a few spirit stones provide? When Lin Yi learned that Qin Yao wanted to snatch the foundation building pill that may be on the 2 female cultivators from the 100 Flowers sect, he persuaded Qin Yao to give up this idea. He patted his chest and assured Qin Yao that as long as he was there would be no problem, and he would go find her when the time comes. In the end, Qin Yao let go of her idea of snatching the foundation building pill, but she stared at Lin Yi firmly. I will wait for you. If you don't come, HMPH, I will kill you first, and then commit suicide. After saying that, Qin Yao left. And Miaoyi looked at the storage bag in Lin Yi's hand. I have heard of this storage bag before. Even among the 4 major sects, it is very important, not to mention the storage ring. It seems that Qin Yao's previous status and identity should not be low, sigh. And Miaoyi sighed, fate is ever changing, and we are all unfortunate people. Moreover, although she is a cultivator of the Joyous Union sect, she is also innocent. Forget it, considering this, I will no longer pursue what she has done to you and me, as well as her threat just now. Upon hearing this, Lin Yi turned to look at Miaoyi. What do you mean, my wife? Are you officially acknowledging Qin Yao's status? Hearing Lin Yi's words, and Miaoyi couldn't help but blush. What's wrong with not acknowledging? The rice has already been cooked. But, as a great husband, in order to continue the family line, you must marry wives and take concubines. I have even heard that many cultivators have multiple wives and concubines, but Lin Yi, don't forget, I am your first wife, so you must take care of the family. Lin Yi's heart was filled with joy, nodding vigorously. Although it had long been decided that he would marry multiple wives and have many children to ensure a prosperous lineage, the unexpected permission from An Miaoyi put Lin Yi's mind at ease. Because Lin Yi wanted to treat all his wives well. As the saying goes, being devoted but not exclusive, being affectionate but not promiscuous. Looking at Lin Yi's expression, An Miaoyi knew what was in his heart. She sighed, accepting this fact despite her slight displeasure. After all, she also realized that Lin Yi's cultivation seemed to only progress when he married multiple wives. In addition to the matter with Qin Yao, An Miaoyi felt that strength was the most important, while other things, she sighed again. After this incident, both of them understood that many things needed to be dealt with after becoming stronger, so there was no time to waste. Lin Yi felt a lot of motivation in his heart. There was no choice, the burden was heavy. Lin Yi was also looking forward to what rewards he would receive in the future for the children An Miaoyi and Qin Yao would bear for him. The two headed towards the back mountain. Using the jade slip, Lin Yi calmly brought An Miaoyi to a cave in the formation's node. Entering the cave in the back mountain, Lin Yi couldn't help but wryly smile at the so-called immortal fortune placed inside the room-like cave. Fortunately, he hadn't let Qin Yao take the spirit stones from the immortal fortune earlier. There were only 10 low-grade spirit stones in total, all of them the size of a thumb, just like the ones in Qin Yao's storage bag. According to what Qin Yao had explained before, these were only low-grade spirit stones. In addition to the 10 low-grade spirit stones, there were a few other valuable items. For example, a short sword that seemed to be of decent quality, a blue stone with a very anomalous appearance, and of course, a book called 100 Flowers Sect's Qi Nurturing Technique. Yes, that's the name. There was nothing else besides the 100 Flowers Sect's Qi Nurturing Technique. According to the jade slip and what Qin Yao had said, Lin Yi's current strength should be at the first level of the Qi refining stage. The so-called Qi refining stage had a total of 9 levels. The 9 levels corresponded to sensing Qi, nurturing Qi, exhaling Qi, and the 6 levels that followed. Distinguishing the 6 levels that followed was simple. When the internal energy in the body reached a certain level and the sense of Qi within oneself became stronger and stronger, until the last breath was exhaled and the aura on the body began to resonate, capable of launching simulated attacks, it was possible to reach the foundation building stage. That was called exhaling Qi like white refining. Because at that time, the energy in your body would surge, just like when a martial Dao practitioner reached the innate grandmaster level, able to sense the spiritual energy in the air and apply it. And because of the spirit root in your body, the energy and Qi sensation would be even more apparent. What kind of spirit root Lin Yi had, Qin Yao couldn't determine. Lin Yi had also tried and found it a bit difficult to automatically absorb the spiritual energy in the air with the withered tree reviving spring technique. But with careful perception, Lin Yi could still sense that there seemed to be some kind of energy particles in the air, which made him realize that he could indeed cultivate with a spirit root. Anyway, having a spirit root meant there was nothing to fear. The two looked at these immortal fortunes, helplessly, with bitter smiles. Lin Yi felt even more that relying on these immortal fortunes to rise up was simply ridiculous. Lin Yi felt that he must study and marry multiple wives as soon as possible, achieving success in a very short time. I hope this great harmony town can be of some help, with several women who have a comprehensive score of over 80 in the assessment of descendants. Otherwise, I won't even have the chance to marry. Also, I don't know if it's just a verbal agreement between both parties to marry, and the rewards from the assessment of descendants are given immediately. It seems that An Miaoyi and the witch Qin Yao are like this. After they agreed to become my wives, I received the rewards instantly, but later on, I will have substantial relationships with them and really marry multiple wives. So I have to follow this, otherwise I won't receive the rewards and will end up deceiving this powerful assessment of descendants, which would be terrible. Lin Yi decided to be cautious. Having these spirit stones would be a waste if he didn't use them. Lin Yi decided to absorb the spiritual energy from these 10 low-grade spirit stones and see Using the withered tree reviving spring technique, he felt the spiritual energy in the air, and then Lin Yi felt the spiritual energy contained in the spirit stones. Unlike these solid energy particles condensed into spirit stones, the spiritual energy in the air was far from sufficient. Lin Yi also reviewed the 100 flowers technique. In this way, Lin Yi began to cultivate in this back mountain. And because An Miaoyi was already pregnant due to his 100% success rate, Lin Yi only focused on cultivation and enjoyment afterwards. A few hurried days passed like this. What annoyed Lin Yi was that even after absorbing 10 low-grade spirit stones, he didn't feel much increase in his own strength. So far, he could only stay in the qi sensing stage, where he could sense the spiritual energy in the air or within the spirit stones. But he could only feel the flow of his own power inside his body, without feeling much else. He couldn't cultivate qi nurturing, let alone reach the second stage of qi refining. This was mainly because Lin Yi had been using the withered tree reviving spring technique all along. Otherwise, it would have been difficult for him to cultivate qi nurturing, let alone fully cultivate it. This made Lin Yi realize that his aptitude must be very poor, and he even felt a bit anxious. If his aptitude was as bad as those rumored useless 5 elements mixed spirit roots, then it would truly be miserable. In that case, all his cultivation would be in vain, and he could only rely on continuing to be lazy and marry multiple wives to have children. I'm so annoyed. The progress is too slow. It's so difficult to absorb low-grade spirit stones. I guess my spirit root is not that great either. It seems that I can only marry multiple wives as soon as possible. How can I marry multiple wives? In other words, how can I gather all these women in Great Harmony Town with a comprehensive score of over 80 and marry them? Because his cultivation progress was slow, Lin Yi had made it clear to An Miaoyi through direct conversation that he had to rely on his so-called special physique to improve his cultivation. Lin Yi told An Miaoyi about his plan. An Miaoyi agreed to help Lin Yi prepare for marrying multiple wives. It wasn't because An Miaoyi was too generous, but because An Miaoyi's cultivation had also improved rapidly, thanks to the withered tree reviving spring dual cultivation technique. Not only had her injuries healed, but her cultivation seemed to have slightly increased. According to An Miaoyi, she was about to reach the level of an innate Grand Master. Unfortunately, An Miaoyi herself said that she had participated in the sect's test for recruiting disciples in the 100 Flowers sect, but she had never had any celestial fate because she didn't have a spirit root. As a result, she didn't understand anything about the 100 Flowers technique even after Lin Yi explained it to her. But Lin Yi believed that An Miaoyi's comprehensive score was close to 90, not much lower than Qin Yao's, so there must be some other reason. After several discussions, Lin Yi decided that he had to continue being lazy as soon as possible. My wife, I'm sorry, but there's no other way. As you said, my physique requires this to become strong and improve my cultivation. I also realize that my spirit root is probably not that strong. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so slow to absorb the spiritual energy from the spirit stones, and there would be a slight difference in sensing the spiritual energy in the air. Sigh, I can only resort to this to become stronger. After saying these words, Lin Yi sighed and hugged An Miaoyi. An Miaoyi pursed her lips and said, I know, I'm not feeling wrong. As long as I can become strong, I can endure anything. Before becoming strong, let's not even talk about saving Qin Yao's sister and her master at Joyous Union sect. Just in our own home, we have to be cautious of the arrival of the enemy, Scorching Sun sect. The sect master and the young master of Scorching Sun sect are not good people. They have unconventional ideas and are trying to use martial arts to cultivate immortality and reach the qi refining stage. Because of you, I'm not afraid of them, but like third uncle, they also have a connection with a cultivator, so that's why I've been worried. Now that there is a path to enhance our cultivation, why not take it? I'll go talk to second grandfather about it. Alright, let's stick to the previous plan. You, my dear, hide for now, and I'll go out in public. During this time, An Yingxiang had sent some information to Lin Yi and An Miaoyi. It turned out that the 2 female cultivators from 100 Flowers sect had come to Great Harmony Town, seemingly chasing after someone. They even gathered the major families in Great Harmony Town, including the An family, and some underground organizations. The officials from the government of Qian Kingdom, along with some constables, searched every area of Great Harmony Town, but it seemed like they found nothing. In the end, they left. Another day passed, and Yingxiang arrived at the back mountain. And Miaoyi revealed the plan she had discussed with Lin Yi. When An Laoyi learned that An Miaoyi planned to continue hiding herself in the cave on the back mountain to prevent Scorching Sun sect from finding her, and that she intended to push Lin Yi out and make him An Yingxiang's adopted grandson, his eyes widened. He quietly pulled An Miaoyi to a secluded spot in the medicinal field, looking anxious and pale, and asked, Yi, tell second grandfather, what is going on? How do you plan to let your husband, Lin Yi, take wives and concubines? Could it be that something happened between the two of you? He has already obtained the immortal fate of the An Mansion. If he really betrayed you, rest assured, I won't spare him even if it costs me my life. Even if I have to fight to the death, I will deal with him. And Miaoyi was afraid that An Yingxiang would misunderstand, so she quickly shook her head, her face showing a hint of blush and shyness. Soon, An Miaoyi leaned close to An Yingxiang's ear and told him the truth. What? He has this special physique. This means he can still improve his cultivation. And Lao Yi's state of mind was somewhat shaken. But soon, he regained his composure. That makes sense. My father once told me that cultivation relies on spirit root and other factors such as a powerful physique and bloodline that the martial Tao world takes pride in, to determine one's potential. In that case, Lin Yi really has such a possibility. If that's the case, then And Yingxiang sighed, I can handle this matter, help Lin Yi take wives and concubines, and recognize him as my adopted grandson. But Yi, this will be a hardship for you. And you have to make sure that Lin Yi doesn't favor his later wives, but instead, he must be loyal to the An family. And Miaoyi shook her head, I am not feeling wrong. As long as Lin Yi becomes strong and our family is safe, I am willing to do anything. Moreover, Lin Yi has told me that he will never favor women from other families. By the way, second grandfather, Lin Yi said that because of this special physique, he wants to personally verify whether those women are compatible with him. He wants to conduct on-site verification, so second grandfather, we must not mess up this matter. And Miaoyi adjusted her expression and continued, Lin Yi also said that in order to revive our family, he is willing to expose himself, but as a precaution, we cannot announce that Lin Yi is a first-level qi refining stage cultivator for now. We should say that Lin Yi is a young talent in martial arts, a martial Tao grandmaster. Listening to An Miaoyi's words, An Yingxiang sighed again and nodded in the end. At this time, Lin Yi walked out of the room with a small flame in his hand. The 100 flowers technique is not particularly special, but it allows cultivators at the qi refining stage to understand some basic knowledge and apply certain techniques, enabling them to use spiritual energy. When sensing elemental energy, they can use the basic elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth to form various incredible spells. This is why cultivators are generally stronger than martial artists at the same level, especially when it comes to long-range attacks. Martial artists are more suitable for close combat. Only martial Tao grandmasters can contend with some low-level qi refining stage cultivators because they can also release simulated attacks. On the other hand, other martial Tao cultivators haven't even gotten close yet, and the cultivators can simply send a water ball or a fireball towards them. In such a situation, ordinary martial Tao cultivators find it difficult to resist. Even some stronger martial Tao cultivators, although they have simulated attacks, how can they compare to more powerful qi refining stage cultivators? Even Qin Yao can easily kill a martial Tao grandmaster like An Yingxiang. Lin Yi can easily confront An Yingxiang. Currently, Lin Yi is only at the first level of the qi refining stage, not even at the second level. But because he has spiritual energy in his body, which is completely different from the internal energy cultivated by martial artists, it is more powerful and condensed. This allows Lin Yi to easily confront An Yingxiang. When An Yingxiang and An Miaoyi saw the small flame shining in Lin Yi's hand, they turned their heads. After seeing it clearly, both of them were filled with excitement and joy. There is no doubt that Lin Yi is a cultivator. At this moment, An Yingxiang even looked at the flame and felt that it was worth it for Lin Yi to marry multiple wives. The only worry is that Lin Yi might run away with other women and abandon our family. Only Lin Yi, although excited, quickly felt that the power in his body was being consumed too quickly, so he had no choice but to extinguish the small flame. Unfortunately, this small flame is not even as good as a lighter. Only by becoming stronger can this flame become more powerful. But in the future, when going to the wilderness for adventures like Bear Grylls, there will be no worries about a source of fire. Feeling a bit speechless and funny, Lin Yi looked at An Yingxiang. Excited, An Yingxiang laughed heartily at Lin Yi. Don't worry, son-in-law, leave the matter of marrying some wives and concubines to me. After saying that, An Yingxiang left, unable to hide his smile on his face. Lin Yi nodded repeatedly. It's still the immortal cultivation world. If this were the blue star, I would be labeled as a scumbag. Having multiple wives is normal here, so there's no need to worry. Although he is An Miaoyi's second grandfather, he is arranging marriages and concubines for himself. Alright, I'm looking forward to that day. Thinking about these things in his heart, Lin Yi looked at An Miaoyi. My wife, let's continue practicing, come on, come on. An Miaoyi blushed, but in the end, she nodded, okay, I also want to become stronger. And Mingyuan, the third son of the An family, was actually punished and caused a huge uproar. Everyone couldn't understand why An Mingyuan, who had always been favored, would receive such punishment and be left with only a breath of life in that water prison. Not long after, An Mingyuan died. Only An Yingxiang, who was excited, became more and more confident. The prodigal son died, and he was not affected at all. Apart from the Scorching Sun sect, the An family also had other enemies. However, these enemies were treated cautiously by An Yingxiang before. Now, because of Lin Yi's relationship, An Yingxiang felt that they were nothing more than insignificant figures. These enemies are the other two families in Great Harmony Town. And the most powerful official sent by the Great Summer Kingdom government, the mayor of Great Harmony Town. Great Harmony Town is said to be a town, but it is actually the size of a city and has a certain level of prosperity. The reason why An Yingxiang's father, the ancestor of the An family, chose to settle here is because Great Harmony Town is not like other cities. There are martial Dao experts and cultivators inside, reducing the risk of the family being annihilated. In addition, Great Harmony Town is adjacent to the large city of Cottonwood City. The level of safety is also high. Moreover, the local area is within the territory of the Great Summer Kingdom, and nearby is the territory of the Hundred Flowers sect. The elders and disciples of the Hundred Flowers sect constantly undergo trials, especially the missions they issue, which mainly involve killing monsters and demons. This provides a sense of security to places like Great Harmony Town and Cottonwood City, so after comprehensive consideration, Great Harmony Town was chosen. This is a typical case of preferring to be the head of a chicken rather than the tail of a phoenix, under the premise of safety. As a result, even after the death of the patriarch of the An family, Martial Dao Grandmaster An Yingxiang, his authority in Great Harmony Town remains unquestioned and his reputation is formidable. However, if it were in Cottonwood City or any other large city, the situation might be different. The An family has participated in many businesses in Great Harmony Town. Before the An family moved in, there were already two long-established families in Great Harmony Town. These two families also have their own background. Although the most powerful members of these two families are only first-class experts at the acquired stage, they have deep connections in Cottonwood City. They have powerful relatives, including martial Dao grandmasters. They also have many relatives. To the extent that these three families share the resources of Great Harmony Town in all aspects of life. The population of Great Harmony Town is around several tens of thousands, and it cannot be considered prosperous. These two families are the Lu family and the Wang family. In addition to these two families, there is also the Luo family of Luo Chungkong, the mayor of Great Harmony Town, who is an outsider. Although Luo Chungkong is also a first-class expert at the acquired stage, his strength is almost on par with Lu Feng, the head of the Lu family, and Wang Qiangzhan, the head of the Wang family. The Lu and Wang families have many intermarriages and have a close relationship. It can be said that the Lu and Wang families have always been dissatisfied with the An family. After all, the An family has taken away many sources of income from them in Great Harmony Town, especially since Old Master An is a martial Dao Grandmaster who has always suppressed them, which has caused some resentment from the Lu and Wang families. The news of An Mingyuan, the son of the An family, being suppressed and dying in the water dungeon eventually spread. After An Yingxiang returned to the An family's council hall, he soon announced a shocking news that was unimaginable to all members of the Yin family. After gathering all the members of the Yin family, An Yingxiong stood on the stage and spoke with conviction. I have a new adopted grandson now, Lin Yi, who used to guard the medicinal field. I have decided to find wives for my adopted grandson and invite all eligible women in Great Harmony Town to come forward. I hope everyone spreads the word. These words left many people dumbfounded. Although not many members of the Yin family and their servants had offended Lin Yi and Miao Yi in the past, they had never shown a friendly face when encountering Lin Yi. Those who had a bad impression of Lin Yi were even more confused. Many people tried hard to remember who Lin Yi was. For a while, these people didn't know what to say. They felt that An Yingxiong had gone mad. For no reason, he first personally killed his own third son, and now he wanted to recruit some adopted grandson for no reason and even find wives for him. Everyone thought that An Yingxiong's mind was not right. Seeing the chaos on the scene, An Yingxiong's happy expression disappeared, and he put on a stern face. With a bang, his aura swept through the room. Do as I say, you. An Yingxiong pointed at his own sons and some members of the Yin family, immediately make invitations and invite people from various major families who have eligible women to come. I want to hold a banquet to find wives for my adopted grandson and invite them to attend. At the same time, make it clear that my adopted grandson will have multiple wives. Grandfather, is this for real? Are you really going to do this? Grandfather, is there nothing else on your mind? Is this a joke? How could you consider a servant from the medicinal field as your adopted grandson? I think there's something fishy about this, father. Are you sure you've thought it through? Some of An Yingxiong's sons and grandchildren subconsciously asked. Their faces didn't look good. After all, for them, if An Yingxiong really recognized such an adopted grandson and seemed to be extremely fond of him, even breaking the rule that the Yin family never intermarried with the other two families in Great Harmony Town, what did that mean? It meant that An Yingxiong valued this adopted grandson very much. He even wanted to find such a family for him to marry multiple wives. Doesn't this mean that it would be impossible for them to inherit the Yin family's wealth in the future? An Yingxiong directly rushed out, and with a bang, he punched and kicked his own sons and some younger generations. Then, without any change in his expression or breathlessness, he loudly declared, "This is an order, hurry up and do it." With resentment and disbelief towards Lin Yi, the members of the Yin family began to act. The death of An Mingyuan had already puzzled countless people. When the invitations were delivered to the hands of many people in the Lu and Wang families, they became even more suspicious. They concluded that there must be internal strife within the Yin family, otherwise An Mingyuan would not have died. Now, they did not expect that An Yingxiong would do such a thing. It made them think that An Yingxiong must have a conspiracy. They even felt that this was a trap. Inviting them was true, but the intention was to harm them. At this moment, in the Wang family mansion, Wang Qiangzhan, the head of the Wang family, and Lu Feng, the head of the Lu family, were leading their family members in a meeting to discuss the situation. The Wang family mansion is located to the west of Great Harmony Town. Wang Qiangzhan sat in the center of the Wang family council chamber, wearing a martial Dao robe in emerald green and golden blue. Wang Qiangzhan had a square face. Sitting to his right, also in the center, was Lu Feng, the head of the Lu family. Both of them appeared somewhat elderly. Inside the council chamber, there were also other important members of the Wang and Lu families. Wang Qiangzhan spoke first. "Let's all discuss this. I don't know what An Yingxiong is up to, wanting to form an alliance with our families. And I heard that he put his own third son in the water dungeon to die, but recognized a foster grandson who happens to be a servant guarding the medicinal fields. What do you all think of this?" As soon as Wang Qiangzhan finished speaking, Lu Feng nodded. "This matter, I believe everyone knows about it. It has caused quite a stir in Great Harmony Town. Not only have our two families received the news, but even some common folks from small households probably know as well. And Yingxiong has lost his mind. But regarding this matter, should we bring our unmarried eligible women over tomorrow?" The members of the Wang and Lu families below began to discuss. "I don't think we should bring them over. Although we have been hostile towards the Yin family, there isn't much hatred between us. But now that An Yingxiong, the martial Dao Grand Master of the Yin family, has gone crazy, there might be internal strife and ambushes in the Yin family. How can we send our family's women over? I agree. We should be cautious. Even if we bring our eligible women along with us, we cannot let our guard down with an Yingxiong making such a big fuss. Why don't we send a message now? After all, the An family's activities will only happen tomorrow. Let our people go to Cottonwood City. We can definitely call upon the martial Dao grandmasters who have a marital relationship with our two families. We still have plenty of time. We can ride the best cloud blood horses, and it will only take an hour. If not, we can directly use a flying eagle to deliver the message. Everyone, there's no need to rush to find people. Coincidentally, I know a powerful individual. We can directly lead that senior to go. This senior is a martial Dao grandmaster and the head of the Cottonwood City Treasure Medicine Pavilion, who has a marital relationship with our Wang family. He was recommended by the pavilion's head and has been staying at the Tongfu Inn these past few days, along with pharmacist Wang Deyang. One of the Wang family members stood up and spoke. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone's gaze turned towards him. Wang Qiangzhan, Lu Feng, and the others couldn't help but show a pleased expression. The Wang family member smirked and continued, if an Yingxiong wants to plot against our Wang and Lu families, he has miscalculated. According to what Wang Deyang pharmacist Wang said, this person is the famous Tianlao in the martial arts world that he knows. Not only is he similar to Wang Deyang pharmacist Wang, he is also a pharmacist and a genuine martial Dao grandmaster. However, because he is older, he has long stayed away from the martial arts world, and many people do not know about his experiences. Furthermore, he repeatedly emphasized, especially to Wang Deyang pharmacist Wang, not to reveal his whereabouts, so I have been keeping quiet. I originally thought he would stay for a few days and then leave, but unfortunately, Wang Deyang pharmacist Wang has not appeared, so Tianlao has not left either. It just so happens that we can pay a price to have Tianlao take action and establish a good relationship with this pharmacist martial Dao grandmaster. Listening to the words of this Wang family member, Wang Qiangzhan and Lu Feng's faces showed joy, and like the other family members, they all stood up. Clap clap clap. The few of them started applauding. Not bad, little second, it's still you who has ideas. But why didn't you report about Tianlao earlier? If you had reported earlier, would we still have to worry about Angia having any ulterior motives? Wang Qiangzhan reprimanded at this moment. This person is Wang Qiangzhan's second son. Listening to his father's words, he touched his head and a bitter smile appeared on his face. I really had no choice. Tianlao never leaves his house, and he is a martial Dao grandmaster who is also related to Wang Deyang pharmacist Wang. If he doesn't allow me to speak, I dare not. All right, no need to say more. Lu Feng intervened, knowing that there is a martial Dao grandmaster is enough. Since we don't have to be afraid anymore, should we bring our eligible women from both families? Hearing this, some people looked at each other and nodded in agreement, let's bring them. I think it's just right. And Yingxiong has a problem with his mind, doesn't he like that grandson? If there is no ambush, what's wrong with marrying one of our women? If he really doesn't have any ulterior motives, it's just right to have Tianlao take action, he. This person provided a train of thought for everyone. If an Yingxiong chooses to marry our family members, we can accept it. As long as we send some female family members, we can control an Yingxiong's favorite grandson. It's also a good thing. Lu Feng and Wang Qiangzhan looked at each other and finally nodded, agreeing with this idea. Wang Qiangzhan spoke, all right, let's do it this way. As long as an Yingxiong's mind is not really messed up. It is said that he likes that grandson very much, to the point that he killed his own third son because of that grandson. If our two families can marry the beautiful women of Angia and control his beloved grandson, then we can also control Angia. Both hands are ready, now it's time to start selecting a suitable bride. If we don't send anyone, we should send more. I don't believe it. And Yingxiong loves his grandson so much, he wouldn't be interested in the women from our family. Lu Feng also nodded, okay, let's take action. Both clan leaders have spoken, and many people agree. With the support of martial Dao Grandmaster Tianlao, as mentioned by Wang Jia's second son, they are not afraid of an Yingxiong causing trouble. It's a good opportunity to settle the matter with the An family. At worst, if An Yingxiang and the An family really have no ill intentions, they can just let their own clan members marry into the An family. Then, they can slowly infiltrate the An family through Lin Yi, the beloved grandson. The two clans still don't believe that they will lose the game and suffer losses. Both hands are ready, and the action begins. After Wang and Lu families started their actions, the two clan leaders quickly rode in a carriage to invite Tian Lao, who was staying at the Tongfu Inn. Inside the Tongfu Inn, people were constantly talking about An Yingxiang's widespread invitations to all eligible women in Great Harmony Town for his beloved grandson's marriage and concubinage. For the vast Wang and Lu families, they still need to worry about what schemes An Yingxiang's father has. Some people are also afraid. After all, the incident where An Yingxiang tortured and killed his third son, and Ming Yuan, in the water dungeon has already caused a stir, making many people believe that the An family will encounter trouble. But the camel is still bigger than the horse. Moreover, there are too many people born in the lower class. For those in the lower class who want to rise up, clinging to a powerful figure is the only choice. As long as they hold on to that powerful figure, they can easily avoid struggling for decades and enjoy wealth and prosperity. An Mansion is a martial Dao sect and the most prestigious family in Great Harmony Town. If their own clan members, relatives, and friends can marry into the An family, won't they directly soar to new heights? Their own families will also rise to the top, enjoying wealth and prosperity. In an instant, many people in Great Harmony Town were stirred. People dining and chatting in the first-floor tavern of the Tongfu Inn deliberately instigated each other. The An family must be in trouble. Otherwise, why would An Ming Yuan be locked up in the water dungeon by An Yingxiang's father? Don't go, absolutely don't go. Yes, don't go. What Zhou Gongzi said is right. Everyone must remember, never go to An Mansion and bring eligible women from your own family. Otherwise, if something goes wrong, it will be too late for regrets. Old Master An is arranging a blind date for his beloved grandson tomorrow, to find a wife or concubine for him. Just by hearing this, you can tell it's a big conspiracy. I even suspect that Old Master An has gone mad from practicing martial arts and has lost his mind. I've heard that many martial Dao grandmasters, unable to make further progress in their later years, go crazy. So be careful, absolutely do not go. Such discussions can be heard everywhere in this inn. However, if you observe carefully, you will notice that all these guys are from the Lu family. Each one of them is saying that they must not bring eligible women from their own family to An Mansion, and they are encouraging others not to go. But in their eyes, while saying these words, there is a glimmer of cunning. Besides this tavern, there are many other places where people are discussing the same thing. Even in Great Harmony Town, almost every gathering of people is like this. However, after discussing this matter in places where many people gather, as soon as the doors close, they continue to discuss it among themselves, between spouses and relatives. This is our chance to rise. We must bring the eligible women we know to An Mansion and have them marry An Yingxiang's beloved grandson. My daughter is naturally beautiful. This is the perfect opportunity for you to rise to the top. Daughter, dress up nicely. Tomorrow, we will go to An Mansion. I remember my niece, she is very beautiful and intelligent. I think we can let her give it a try. That Lu just now discouraged me from finding my niece. HMPH, even Lu's daughter, who looks like a fat pig, has a chance to marry An Yingxiang's favorite grandson. I spit on that, only my niece can marry into that family. After the group of Lu family members closed the door, they expressed their true thoughts. There was no sign of their previous claims of not going to An Mansion. An Yingxiang is an old fox. He has long noticed the envy in the eyes of the An family members towards Lin Yi. Even his most trusted sons, juniors, and even the steward, An Yingxiang worries that they are not thorough in their actions. The news that was spread and the invitations that were sent out did not achieve the expected publicity effect. Even An Yingxiang personally disguised himself and wandered around many of the busiest restaurants, tea houses, and even some places where people listen to music and enjoy entertainment. When he discovered that many people were discussing this matter and constantly saying that it was impossible to bring their daughters or other eligible women to An Mansion, An Yingxiang was initially shocked. He was afraid of ruining Lin Yi and An Miaoyi's plan. If there really aren't many women coming to An Mansion, how can Lin Yi take wives and concubines? Then his mission will not be completed. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.